You tell me when we are live.
Yeah, we are like,
Good evening and welcome to DCL PrimeTime. Sorry for the 5-minute delay in starting this thing. We have some starting problems. We have Satya on the road trying to manage things. And today I'm sitting in for Parthiv, who is the regular host. He has some other important matters to attend to, and then I am afraid even Gaba is not available. And this is generally the problem which we have, especially as the playoff progresses. Always we find that somehow our hosts and analysts are not available. But KK is on the show, and hopefully he'll be able to join with a second ID, and he'll be able to share some of the screen, at least with regards to the games which we are analyzing. We have some really exciting games to cover. Also, Vijay Shanmugam was supposed to join our show, but uh, unfortunately, his friend had an accident, and so he's unable to join. But we wanted to go with the first game of the evening, which is Indus Thunders versus Canton Hurricanes. I wanted to turn this over to KK and ask him for his thoughts on this game. This was a pretty even contest for uh, quite a reasonable portion of the day. But again, Indus Thunders, once again, the playoffs started, and this was always going to be a tough ask. But I think Canton Hurricanes did well compared to some of the other teams which bit the dust. KK, your thoughts on this game? KK, I think you're on mute.
I think still he's trying to join. I am sharing the
Oh,
screen. So,
okay. I guess KK is missing. So while KK is missing, I probably will just go over some of the things which I had at least thought on this game. What I wanted to say on this game was what is that? Indus 124 runs came off the bat, out of which 74 runs came from the bat of Bangera alone. I thought it was a Bangera masterclass. Anant Raman Yoga, Amit, and Adarsh delivered with the ball. But 130, if you ask me, was too much in a playoff game. I think for once, Mohammad Ramzi failed to deliver, especially in the death knell, because he's the guy who has been winning them games. And he's the bowler who's expected to bowl 5 overs. And I saw that he only bowled 3 overs in this game. But I do believe that Canton Hurricanes can hold their head high because scoring 95 in response to 130 from a former champion, I think was a great response. But their superstars, Ramsey failed to deliver with the ball, and that started the problem. Adarsh didn't deliver with the bat, and these two guys have been carrying them pretty much a lot of the games. And so, if they wanted to do any kind of upset, they both had to deliver. And I will say that, you know what, in a few of the other games too, the guy who really carried them through the season, for example, if you take Titans, Parag Karwade carried them on his shoulders all through the season. And we find that in that particular game in the playoff, he fails to deliver. But unfortunate time to have a off day. But I think Najid had a fantastic outing the last 3 games or 4 games, and he scored 32. But I think they needed more than 32 and 13 from Amit. But chasing 130, they needed somebody else also to deliver. But nevertheless, nothing to take away from a great season. I think it was a fantastic season. Canton Hurricanes outperformed almost anybody's expectations. But I think it starts with the leadership. Adarsh did a fantastic job leading the team. Hari Pallava did an even more fantastic job allowing Adarsh to take over the reins once he saw that the team was going in the right direction.
single line.
Javed stepping back and allowing these young guys to take over is another great selfless act, in the sense that, you know what, sometimes you have to know when to promote the right people. But I think for Indus, Pandeti and Chetan sizzled with the ball. And it was an outstanding game from Indus Thunders from any angle which you look at it. But again, I think it was all set up with the Bangera masterclass. But I see that now KK has joined, so I'm going to pass it on to KK and ask KK his thoughts on this game.
Well, going into this game, right, I think Canton and Indus faced off each other earlier in the season. And I think it was a close encounter back then as well. I was talking to one of the Canton Hurricanes players, Amit, and he said, yes, last time we missed it, but this time, we'll give it a good fight. But going by what happened in this game, right, I think Indus outplayed them, especially Praveen Bangera, the way he opened and then played through the innings. He was not out through, and those 70 runs mattered a lot.
Yeah, Vamsi, 74 out of 124. That's more than 50%.
Yep.
It's probably around 60% of the total output.
Yep.
That's why I called it
that's
a
a great
masterclass.
outing, right? And
yeah.
When someone plays through the entire innings, the other team members have more freedom to play. But I think in this game again, Bangera scored most of the runs as well. This 74 out of 124, that itself accounts for 60% of the runs. And if you take out the extras as well, then it'll actually tell you the overall bearing it had on the game. But once you get to that over the last, I think since last year, with the scores that we have seen, last year there were 4 games where the first team batting first scored more than 100, and on all the 4 occasions they were able to win the game. But in this in this game, I think this was the only game where is this the only game where more than 100 runs were scored, or I might be wrong.
Okay. I can look it up while you
I'm opening up the scorecard as well. Apologies for the delay. Yeah, Gladiators was the other team that scored 100 this year, but in the pre-quarters, getting to 130 is really good. And when the team batting second needs to score at more than 5 runs an over, that too against a team of Indus Thunder's caliber in their bowling unit.
Yeah, even fighters scored 116.
Mm-hmm.
So you had 3 teams scored more than 100 runs in this playoff.
But in Indus Thunders, right, we also need to give credit to Madhu Haveri and Naresh Sundar. They helped build that partnerships. Especially when their number 2 and number 3 batsmen got dismissed for a duck. One more wicket, and it would have opened up the doors, right? But that partnership with Madhu, where Bangera and Madhu put up 27 runs, they took time, about 7 overs, but still scoring at 4 runs an over. And the next partnership is much more crucial, because in 6 overs, right, Naresh and Praveen Bangera were able to put on 35 runs. So 37 balls and 35 runs. That's where in 17 overs you got to 69. That you're going to get more than 90 for sure. But then the actual acceleration started, and you can see that the rest of the batsmen who came in, even though they did not contribute much, I think Praveen Bangera was actually contributing most of the runs. And in fact, he only played 11 overs out of 25 overs to score those 74 runs, and whereas the other team members played 14 overs, and if you take out the extras, they scored 50 runs, which again, it's a good contribution. 14 overs, 50 runs from the rest of the team at 3.5 runs per over, whereas your other batsman is going at more than 6, more than 7. That's very ideal, right? You get to 130, and what else you can ask from your batting unit?
No, sorry, go ahead. I thought you had finished. Go ahead.
No. From the bowling unit, I think when Adarsh or Hari came onto the show earlier, we were asking about Sadat, who took most of their wickets, but in this game, he was very expensive. And I think the captain should know when to stop a particular bowler. And in this game, his 5 overs leaked for 38 runs. And when you have someone like Adarsh, who took 18 for 3 in his 4 overs, I think he should have finished his quota of 5 overs there. Amit was bowling with 4 overs for 13. So those 2 overs could have made a lot of difference. Maybe instead of 130, they might be looking at 115, 120. That's how I look at it. When a team gets to 80 or 19, 20 overs, you want to make sure they don't get too many runs in the last 5 overs. And in this game, exactly that happened, right? Because from 90, they got to 130.
Yeah. KK, a quick question. I mean, again, I think 10 runs of that Sadat over came in that 23rd or 24th over. So I'm sure at that time Indus is looking to probably accelerate too because they have wickets in hand. And so that might probably account for a little bit. But I do agree with most of your comments on this thing with regards to knowing when to stop a bowler. But let me ask you this question. What do you make of the fact that Chetan went down? Because I thought we had this settled that Chetan was going to be their permanent opener, and he had done fabulously well. And you would think that all the experimentation stops once playoff starts. So this is where I'm not understanding it, because Dinesh Pandey went opening. We have never seen. I am not sure when was the last time you saw Dinesh Pandey opening. He probably would have opened. But what I'm saying is that. Was there a need for Bangera and Pandey to open right there? Because already you have Bangera, who's an established premium player kind of a thing. So Pandey always can
Honestly,
accelerate.
yeah. Honestly, I thought Manoj will open with Bangera.
Okay.
Bangera scored that 100 when he was opening, and Manoj has been in a fantastic touch. I mean, Dinesh also opened recently. In the Corporate Cup, he opened along with me. He played through. He was not out. He was watching the ball very nicely, closely. So, but the experimentation didn't work. But what's good for Indus is, look at it this way: Dinesh and Manoj still got out for 0, but their team got to 130.
Okay.
That's the way I look at it. Their
Okay.
batting is looking strong. Three people got to 10 plus scores, no contributions from Dinesh, Manoj, and Chetan coming down the order. When the team is batting first, I think that's completely fine. When they're chasing low scores, something in the area of 60, 70, I think that's what Chetan will be very, very handy. I think they're going to do that, especially their next encounter with Stars, right? If it's a low scoring thriller, I think Chetan will still come up with that chasing.
I won't be surprised against Stars if Chetan opens the batting.
Yep.
Because that's what we saw against KRCC, and that Stars have some solid bowlers in their arsenal. So that will be a cracker of a game. So I'm sure.
Yep.
I do have some comments. Remind me, Vamsi, later when we talk about the games ahead. I have some spicy comments to add to the Stars versus Indus Thunder's game.
Sure.
All right.
I also want to give enough credit to Naz, because he was the top scorer for Canton. He scored 32 out of 48. And then, Hari and Adarsh was led Canton fantastically through the season. They both got out for Golden Duck. I think that hampered their chase big time. Even though it was a big ask, but still they both getting out would have just taken out the gas from the team.
But let me ask you this. Wasn't Canton Hurricanes one of the great improvements from last season to this season?
Oh, definitely.
I mean, for
no
me,
one counted them in, initially.
Exactly. So, in other words, if you ask me to list 5 teams which significantly outperformed, where the management did a fantastic job, the players did a fantastic job, I think, yes, it's disappointing to lose a playoff game, no matter whether it's the pre-quarterfinal or quarterfinal or semi-final. Anytime you lose a game, at the end of the season, there is only one team who's really happy. Everybody else have some sort of regret at some point or the other. So, but I think if you really look at it in the proper perspective, Canton Hurricanes is one of the teams which absolutely outperformed in all departments: batting, bowling, team management, playing together as a team, conducting a perfect job, and playing in the right spirit and all those things. But I think the leadership should be given kudos for that. And so as they sign off on this season, I just wanted to wish them that they were a fabulous add to DCL 2023. And thank you for allowing us to highlight many of their accomplishments.
True. And Canton won 9 out of the 12 league games. They won 75% of the games. And on a personal note, Sadat had great season. He got 3 man of the matches. Anant Raman Yoga, he got he was selected as man of the match for 3 times. Amit Sivarai 2 times. Mohammad Ramzi 1 time, and they played as a unit. That's what I saw through the season. It was one bad game, but again they are playing against the 3-time champions, and even though they lost, I'm sure they would have gained something out of the game.
Yeah, I agree. Before we move on to the next game, KK, I forgot to, when I started the show, actually, I wanted to say something. I wanted to clarify something which I did not get to clarify the previous week. And the previous week, if you remember, you'll remember that Parthiv started with a disclaimer, and then he also issued an apology. And then in that particular one, I also came back and said that I'm not apologizing. But I wanted to state something, which is KK had nothing to do with that. Parthiv had nothing to do with that. Gaba had nothing to do with that. They were all in the just like a call. The call came to me. So if anybody has to take the blame, it should be me who has to take the blame. After all, the call came to my phone, right? So how we go about it, obviously, we learn a few things from that. But the thing is that I just wanted to throw that out because I did not get an opportunity to say that last week. I was hoping that Partha will come to me, and I was waiting to say that, but that never happened. And so I wanted to say that at least on this one, that, hey, Parthiv had nothing to do with it, KK had nothing to do with it, Gaba had nothing to do with it. So back off from those three guys. If you have a problem, take it up with me. After all, the call came to my phone. Simple as that. And that ends the discussion. If anybody has a problem, that's your problem is with me, not with the other three guys. They are absolutely innocent of anything. If anybody made a mistake, it is me, and I'll take the responsibility for that. But having said that, I'll stand by Maulik's comments, which is, this is America. In America, anybody has a right to free speech. And go and look at Saturday Night Live, and you'll find that Donald Trump, when he was president, was mocked left, right, and center. But whoever called in, and they wanted to have fun. All right, we made a mistake, but we'll move on from that. But having said that, KK, I want to move on to the next game, which is Legends. Yeah.
Are you sharing your screen, or do you want me to?
You go ahead and share it, because I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, give me 1 minute. Sure. Let me know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. So our next game is Legends versus Pokeries. And KK, this is a game which you have a lot of good friends on Legends. Your own brother plays on Legends. And I'm sure you have a lot of inside information as to what went wrong in this game. Because
our game was happening right next to this.
Yeah, and remember, KK, let me tell you something. Legends were very, very confident they had Pokery's number in this game, going into this game. Because I had internal this thing saying that, hey, we are coming with 5 top-notch bowlers. And I don't want to share who told that to me. But what I'm saying is we are coming with 5 top-notch bowlers, which we did not have the last time around. How are Pokeries going to even be able to encounter or counter that? You get my point? And even with all that, I think all of us had predicted Pokeries to win. At least I know I predicted Pokeries to win. And the logic was pretty simple. My problem was with the Legends batting. And my problem was not with the Legends bowling. My problem was specifically with the Legends batting. And sure enough, in this game too, other than Harish and Ravitej Pujari has been absolutely fabulous carrying them. Once again, he did that in this game. But the Pokeries, I felt, was a much more balanced unit. And Pokeries do not defeat themselves. But I'll get to some of my comments on this game. I'm going to let you cover the summary on this game.
Sure. I mean, the way Legends started, they started very cautiously. Ravitej, hit a 6, but then he was run out. But then came Ravitej Pujari. He played really well until, I think, 18th over. Until his 18th over, his innings was very much controlled. He hit a 6 when Harish came in. He hit a 6. They're going at a very good rate, but then started the suicide mission. I think in the next 5 or 6 balls that he has played, they dropped, I think, 2 catches and then took the third. I thought that would not have been necessary because he has played really. He got a 50. In the last, I think in the last couple of games, in one of the games he got a 50, and he has been set. He's scoring at 75 strike rate. He has Harish on the other end. I thought it was. If he would have played 2 to 3 more overs, Legends would have definitely got 95 plus. Because after that fourth wicket fell, the rest of the batsmen, whoever came in, the scores are 2-1, 1-4, 1-0-0, right? Which means across 7 batsmen, only 9 runs were scored. And the Pokeries are a very disciplined unit, which means you got only 1 extra. The other 2 are leg buys, so I would only count 1 as the extra. So they were very disciplined Pokeries. But at the same time, I think the Legends' lower order let them down. Honestly, when Ravitesh Pujari was out, I thought maybe Guru would have been better personally. I had not discussed this with them, but I felt Guru would have been good there. Not to understand but it's last 6 overs, and you want your finisher to be there in those last 6 overs, so that he gets enough time to be set and then take it on the other overs. And let's talk about Poker's bowling as well for a minute, right? Raghu was sensational, 5 overs, 8 for 2. And then Vicky bowled well, 5 overs, 13 for 2. He usually gives a few extras, but in this game, he was top notch. Arun opened the bowling, and I think that was a new move from Pokeries to give Arun the bowling. And then out of their 6 bowlers, right? 3 of them are spinners. Raghu bowls spin, Saran is a spinner, Neil is a spinner. So their bowling has the most amount of spinners in DCL, I would say.
You think Saran is a spinner?
Saran is a spinner.
Satya, is Saran a spinner?
He's spinning nowadays in other tournaments.
Oh, is it? Okay. Okay. All right. Because I always didn't think him as a spinner.
Even Ravi Narala using a lot of spin nowadays. So cutters.
Oh, is it? Okay. Okay. Oh, maybe they are trying to, maybe Ravi is probably trying to figure out what you're doing, Satya. So he's probably trying to copy you.
Maybe I'm trying to figure out what he's doing.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Well, I think Poker is on a whole, right? Only 1 extra out of 21.4 overs, 24.1 overs. It's really good. But again, Legends from 6 for 81, they lost their 4 wickets for 2 runs, right? If you would 5, 6 additional runs would probably give a different result. Now let's talk about Poker's batting. Poker's, I've been talking about it that one day they are going to collapse, and this game that happened, they were 5 for 31, they were 6 for 44. But that decision to have Saran at 7 and Gautam at 8 paid off in this game. And actually, the 6 which Gautam hit in the 23rd over that sealed the game for Pokeries, because the ball right before that was a very close run out. Probably the batsman was foot out. The umpire called it not out, and the next ball was hit for a 6. I think that was the turning point of the game. Neil played well for his 24. Saran played beautifully in those last 2 overs. I was watching, his getting those 2s, hitting over the covers area. He was batting beautifully, and Gautam had good control when he was batting. Overall, a very, very close game.
Yeah. KK, my thought on this is that this was, have you seen the movie Groundhog Day?
I have
It's
not.
a Bill Murray movie. All right. In Groundhog Day, Bill Murray wakes up every single day, and the same set of sequence of events happens again and again. The reason I bring up Groundhog Day is because if you look at the league game and this game, pretty much was pretty identical, KK. Because in the league game, Legends were 91 for 10. All right. Pokeries won that game 92 for 7. And again, that came down to the last over kind of a thing. And in that game, Saran, Gautam, Raghu, Vicky, Neil all contributed. but Saran and Gautam were the main contributors. I mean, in other words, when I say main contributors, it was what is that? Gautam hitting the six in that game to win that game. Here also he hit the key six. You get my point. But Raghu, Vicky, Neil all performed with the ball. You take this game, same thing. The only difference is in that game you had 91 scored, and in this game you had what, 84 scored, right? And so the difference is about 7 or 8 runs. But guess what? In that game there were 8 extras or something like that, or 9 extras. In this one there is only 1 extra, which is in the form of a wide. So the real difference is coming down to pretty identical. If you take extras out in terms of the runs off the bat, it is pretty identical. And once again, as I have always told, pokeries never defeat themselves. They'll make you earn it, and they give you 1 extra, 2 extras, 3 extras at the most. And that means that, you have to come up with another 10, 15 runs if any other team, because most teams give about 10, 15 extras kind of a thing. And once again, I think Ravi Tej Pujari had a fabulous season. Let's call it out and say that he is the one shining star on Legends, and he pretty much carried them all season long. Harish had a great outing. I do not know, KK, if you saw that run out of our friend Ranjit, because Ranjit hits a shot to long on. All right, this is a long on boundary. There is 2 runs all along, all right, and Ranjit goes for the second run. All right, at that stage they had to go for 2 runs. There are plenty of wickets, but guess what? Harish fields the ball at long on, and from long on you would think, where would the throw go? You would think that the throw will go to the non-striker's end, but it doesn't go to the non-striker's end. It goes straight to the striker's end. And I'm thinking Pujari is going to collect the ball. Pujari doesn't collect the ball. He lets it, he leaves it, and it goes and hits directly on the stump. It hits directly on the stump, and Ranjit is caught out, 2-3 feet outside. You get my point? I mean, even if Ranjit had not slipped, look at this one. Take a look at this. He slips, but even if he hadn't slipped, you look at this, direct. He was going to be yards out. There was no doubt about that. You get my point? It's an absolutely fabulous run out. I mean, it is. You need a wicket strong arm to do that. And Harish did a fantastic job. And what do we do on the show? We call out the great plays. We recognize people for what they do, especially when they do something right. I think Legends is a well-liked team. I think it starts with Belamakonda himself. He's a very well-liked person. I think the bowling is very consistent. I think it's batting which is a problem. And I do not think they have solved that batting issue even today. And if you ask me, their batting is like a bull in a china shop. Why do I say that? Because you know what? When the bull is well behaved, everything is fine. The china is fine. But the moment things starts going helter-skelter, all the china goes for a toss. And this is exactly what's happening with the Legends. It's safe to say. Can I ask you something? Gautam Radhakrishnan switching was the difference between winning and losing for both the teams. Because both in the previous game, the league game, as well as in the playoff game, the man who made the difference is the man who switched. He's the man who hit the 6 in both cases and got them the victory. If Gautam had stayed with Legends, probably Legends win this game. Gautam switches over to Pokeries. Pokeries win the game. And considering the fact that Pokeries is on the other side of the equation, the GLCC side of the equation, they will be licking their chops at the path which they have all the way to the finals, because they have some very clear paths, and which if they play well, the finals is beckoning them.
And let me also say something here, right? Gautam did not have a great season last year, and when you have such a bad season, normally the player would be like, let me get my footing somewhere else, because it sometimes gets very hard to continue playing in that particular team. If I'm not wrong, in one of the games, Gautam even wanted to go down the order last year. So I think after that previous season where he was averaging 26, right, in 2021, in 2022 he was averaging just 5, and I think that could have dented his confidence, and he might have wanted to try something out and move to poker race.
You think that is the reason why he switched?
I think that might be one of the reasons,
Okay.
and also his closeness with some of those poker race guys could be the other reason. But
Okay.
either way, wherever he plays, he's a fantastic guy. He's a team player. I played with him in 2021.
Okay.
I saw him in close quarters, so that's what I can say.
No, I mean, well, when he switched itself, I said Pokri's got a fantastic player, so there is no doubt about it. It was Legends' loss and Pokri's gain, and sure enough, it came out on the scorecard too. Because at the end of the day, he's the guy who has made the difference. And if this guy hadn't switched, Legends probably win this game. He switched, and he's the difference maker in not just the league game, but also in the playoff game. And you would have thought that in the playoff game, Legends would have figured something to change the outcome. But I also think Legends needs to do some self-introspection as to what is going wrong, kind of a thing. So, yeah, but that's up to them. We'll go on to the next game, which is Glatz versus Miles, if I'm not mistaken. So over to you, KK. Your thoughts on the Glatz versus Miles game?
And I would say in one word, Glad's outperformed Miles in every department in this particular game.
Okay.
Let me also. I thought Glad's give enough credit to Aditya. In the past, in the previous season, what we have seen is Glad's go for bat first and not get enough runs on the board, not finish off those 25 overs. But in this game, the 21 runs that were scored by Aditya are as equally as important as the 65 that was scored by Hardeep Singh. Yes, Hardeep scored triple the amount of runs, but if not for Aditya's innings, maybe Hardeep would have not played so freely, right? And that's where that partnership, if we see from Aditya was there until what 12.4 overs. Out of 76 balls, he played 51 balls. He took most of the strike, 60 to 70% of the strike. And then Hardeep is set by then. And then Udit came in. Udit was not really that great in this game. He got out fairly quickly. Fahim had a decent outing, 16 out of 17. He normally goes for huge hits, but he only won 6 in this game. But still fine. On the other end, it was Hardeep. He just took over the bowlers, because when Fahim got out, it was 5 for 90. And after that, the rest of the batsmen who came in only scored 4 runs out of total of 40 runs. Out of 40 runs, out of 33 runs, only 4 runs were scored by the other batsmen. Hardeep scored 29 of them. So that showed how he was able to finish the game. Look at the number of sixes, 4 sixes and 2 fours, and a strike rate of 118. He just upped the tempo, and once he got to 23, Miles had a very slim chance. Because, in the past, we have seen Rahul Chenna hit those huge sixes, have great innings, but it's again a playoff game, and today was not his day. He only scored 8. He ran out of partners on the other end. We've seen the same thing for MCC Miles against KRCC. Rahul came in solo, was at number 7, but after that he did not have any, I would say, great batsman to bat along with him. Last year, who was Karthik Jaykumar, right? He was one player who was there throughout. He was playing at the top, and then they were able to bat few other players in the middle order. But I think what missed for Miles this year was Abhilash Reddy playing. He qualified somehow, but he was not available for this game. He still chose a 40 over this DCL game. And their new recruits this season were Aditya, Venkatesh Muthineni, and Abhilash Reddy. They did not click for Miles this season. A lot of things did not go for these teams that merged. I would say for Raptors as well, it's the same story. We'll get to that game in a bit. But for MCC Miles, it was a tough season. through their last game is how they qualified to the playoffs as number 16 team, and they were the first team to be knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, remember we had on the primetime rankings at one stage, MCC Miles was ranked number 4. And from there, they fell all the way to 16. And towards the end of the season, when the playoff ranking came, you will find that the primetime rankings and the playoff rankings were almost identical, give or take 1 or 2 spots here and there, which means what? The primetime analysts were correctly ranking all the teams, kind of a thing. But my point is the Miles ranking had fallen significantly because somehow they were losing games. I mean, Satya and I think Sanjay are good friends. They play a number of games together outside of DCL, kind of a thing. But if you ask me in this game, KK, Satya barbecued Sanjay on the grill. Because if you go and look at ball number 11.6, all right, 11.5, a wicket falls. And then the last ball before the playoffs, before the break, Miles did not want to bat. And I'll give the wicket to Hardeep Singh, actually, because Hardeep insisted that Miles should bat, which is our right to insist that they should bat all 12 overs. You get my point? Before you take the break. Yes, the wicket fell at 11.5. If I was the skipper of Glads there, I would absolutely insist that the batsmen have to come in and bat that last ball, because you do not know what will happen. And that is exactly what happened. If you look at it, it is one of the best deliveries I've seen Satya ever bowl. It was a peach of a delivery. I called it the delivery of the season, because if you look at it, all Sanjay is trying to do is trying to defend the ball. He has that ball covered in all angles. And yet this ball manages to find the center of the middle stump, right on top of the middle stump. It takes that center stump. It was that absolutely fabulous ball. Can we play that this thing? I mean,
yeah, give me 1 minute. I'm actually trying to get that exact delivery out here.
Okay. Well, you're the master. So, yeah, there you go. He has come. This is the last ball before the break. Glads insisted that he has to come and play. Look at that. Right on top of middle stump. I mean, it is almost an unplayable ball. I felt bad for Sanjay. But at the same time, if you look at Glads, they go into the break with absolute on top of the game, because Sanjay is one guy who can take the game away from you, even though you have 123 on the board or 124 on the board. But I thought it was a fabulous thing. 4 overs, 10 runs, 4 wickets. If you ask me, Satya led from the beginning. This was one game I told Satya, every decision taken by the Glads players, at least in the bowling department, were spot on. I mean, they did not make a single mistake with regards to the bowling changes or who they brought on or where this thing. Yeah, they dropped a few catches, but leaving that aside, that's the fielder's responsibility. But with regards to taking the right decision to bring the right bowler, we did a spot-on job. We did a spot-on job with regards to how we wanted to approach the game. And as I told you, whoever wins the toss was going to bat, and that's exactly happened there. But I think Hardeep played a fantastic innings. He carried the team on his back. He was the aggressive Hardeep. Now, if you went and saw the Corporate Cup where you were the umpire, that was a Hardeep which I do not know. And after the game, I did have a chance to talk with Hardeep, and I told him, what in the world was he batting there? I mean, that what he batted in Corporate Cup is not the Hardeep Singh that I know. And that is not the Hardeep Singh who has made a name for himself. But there you're playing. I do not know why he played that way. But in this game, 65 in 55 balls, he played a fantastic innings. He's the reason Glads won this game, and absolutely deserves the man of the match award. But mind you, he and Satya did a fabulous job. Satya did a fantastic job picking up all the key wickets. He was pretty much unplayable with his cutters. I think Miles' management deserves credit. They really improved their team in terms of talent. But I feel that not having Sunil Somavarapu, Abhilash Motivar, Praneeth, these guys were, I expected those 3 guys to be playing this game for whatever reason, whether they're, I don't know, not available or out of the country or, simply went to play some other game. I mean, I knew that Abhilash will go and play the 40, but I thought at least the other 3 guys will come and play. I think that would have helped their bowling department. But nevertheless, I thought Brahma, we didn't mention that. He played a fabulous innings. Let's give him credit. He really, really kept Miles in the game, because apart from Brahma, there was very little on their batting end which could really stand out. Brahma is the
Mhm.
one guy who kept Miles in the hunt. And yes, we know that Chenna can take the game away from you. But having said that, KK, I think we had Chenna covered. We knew what to bowl to Chenna, all right, so
Mhm.
that he doesn't take the game away. Once you learn what somebody can do to you, you also come up with some sort of an answer as to how you're going to approach that next time you play him. I think all good teams do that, and we sure had our brains working as to what we wanted to bowl to Chenna and make him a little uncomfortable, you see. So, but nevertheless, I think it's a fantastic outing from them. But their loss to Fighters, Hawks, and KRCC, I think that's what relegated them to number 16. KRCC, I can understand. But the other two games, when you are having hopes of going deep into the playoffs, those are games that you have to win. Those are 50-50 games, and those 50-50 games you have to win.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you're not going to go far. And I think if Miles had played, Miles actually wanted to play Gaba. Miles wanted to play Titans, all right? But it's not just Miles who wanted to play Titans. Gujarat Lions wanted to play Titans. Who's the other team? Our Dynamite's friends wanted to play Titans. There were a number of people at the bottom end of this thing, all lining up wanting to play Titans, you see. And I think Miles' problem was, yeah, they ran into Glads. But I think anybody else, they probably would have probably given them a run for the money. This one ultimately was a pretty easy game for us to win, but I think Miles deserves all the credit for running a good ship. And I think it starts with the captain. The captain himself is a class act, so he does a good job. I don't get any special satisfaction when winning this game, but it's something which we have to do. So
Mhm.
that's the game before us. We win and move on. Let's move on to the
True.
next game.
And also, so in this game, Sunil Somawarpu did not play. I do not know
Yeah,
the
that's what
reason
I. That's
he
what.
did not play.
That's why I meant. Yeah, that's what I
Mhm.
mentioned to you, Sunil. So I expected him to bowl because he's one of their premium bowlers.
I mean, let's be honest. Miles are short on bowling, and if you're sitting out your premium bowler for whatever reason, then you have questions to answer. And also their imports, right? Let's also just quickly peek at how they performed this season. Aditya Nalan did not have a good season. He was averaging 5. Venkatesh Muttineni was averaging 4. And
I thought Venkatesh Muthineni was supposed to be their one-down batsman. In this game, he came number, I don't know, 9 or 10 or something like that.
yeah, he came number 10. So this
Okay.
is what happens, right? When you have too many top order batsmen, someone has to go down and play not in the regular position, but completely in a different role. And when you keep doing that, some of them get used to it, some of them cannot still perform the same way. I faced that personally as well. Again, a batting position might click one year, the next year it might not click. So we all have been there and that, but I think Venkatesh did not really have a great season, and he was not able to get adjusted
I
to
know.
that new position.
I know. I forget the date when GLCC game. So, what is the batting position you prefer? Because you said that. I know. I went through that. That's why I was asking that question.
I mean, to be very honest, I like to open. The
Okay.
reason is with my kind of fitness, with the kind of issues I have with my knees, I don't think I can go finish off games because it requires you to run very hard, and I don't think I can take it at this point.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I
like
know.
opening gives me a
I'll
little bit of time because I need not hit every ball, and also even if I cannot run for the second run, probably not cannot take those quick singles. At some point, I have that confidence that I can catch up to it. But when
okay.
you're finishing off games in the last 2-3 overs, you cannot afford not take a run. Probably you need 2 overs, 20 runs, or 3 overs, 20 runs. You can't say, "Hey, I won't run this ball. I'll just hit the next ball," because at the end it might come back and bite you. But in the
Okay.
beginning, I can still take the chance.
Okay. I didn't want to deviate from this game or your thought because you brought it up. I know I will forget it when we get to to the GLCC game. That's why I wanted to ask you right then. But go ahead and finish your analysis on the imports. How did the imports do for
And
MCC Miners?
Abhilash was not available for most of the season. He only
Okay.
played 4 games, and out of which I'm sure for a few games he left early. And then Aditya did not have a great season. Then Venkatesh did not have a great season. But honestly, if you're playing uh, Glads, I'll go with more batsmen than bowlers because I'm sure if it comes to fourth, fifth, and sixth bowlers, it would really not matter. You know whom Glads players are playing. But Sunil Somawarpu is clearly a big miss in this game.
Yeah, I personally felt that he was their best bowler going into the season. So I expected to see him, but I was surprised when he was not there on the scorecard. So again, I
Sure.
do not know why he was not there.
Yep, and also Pranit, right? Both of them are having an economy of 2.5 and 2.8, and dropping them probably is a cardinal sin.
Okay.
Okay, we can probably move on to the next game now.
Yeah. What's our next game? Is that Bulls versus KRCC?
No, it's
Or is it
Dynamites versus
Dynamite?
Stars.
All right, Dynamites versus Stars.
Well, do you want to start on this one, Vijay?
Yeah, I was going to say that, in fact, I did not prepare much for this game because we were expecting Vijay Shanmugam on the show, right? He said he was going to be on the show. I was going to hand it over to him to ask him to cover the game because he himself was right there and he was the skipper. Now that he's not there, we are forced to cover it. I was going to ask Vijay, is Stars the best bowling lineup in DCL, but he's not here. But anyway, what I wanted to say is, I think Dynamites were a victim of circumstances, KK, because Dynamites did not deserve to play Stars. Dynamites really wanted to play Titans. They were hoping to play Titans, but the problem was that, Maulik had the last say because Maulik had a game, the last game, and Maulik controlled so also fighters. You get my point?
Mm-hmm.
By fighters losing the game and Gujarat Lions losing that game, what happened is Dynamites got an unexpected promotion. And that unexpected promotion resulted in them playing Stars. Now, going into the game, I'm pretty sure that all of us were on the Stars bandwagon because all season long, Dynamites had only Murugan Vishwanathan, and towards the end, Arun Selvaraj was producing with the bat. Maybe one or two games Vijay produced with the bat, but batting was their real problem. Dynamites were surviving on bowling, 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 and that might get you through a weak pool. But you needed a few more Murugan Vishwanathans and a few more other guys to step up and play like Murugan played this season. But there was nobody else who was playing that game. In this game, I think one guy, Adnan Rasul, reached double figures. But when you have a top-notch bowling attack like what Stars have, in my opinion, the best bowling attack in DCL. But that's my opinion. Everybody is entitled to an individual opinion. That doesn't make it that is the right opinion. But what I'm saying is, in personally, we did a ranking, three of us, right? You, Kaushik, me, and probably somebody else. We were all united on one thing: least favored team we want to face is Stars, and then was Indus Thunders, and then whoever else was there on the poll. And this, it's as simple as that. But I think Dynamites had a problem. The chance to upset Stars required that they had to score at least 80 runs, and we never saw it on the cards. And so that's where what happened. But I think Vijay should at least take consolation in the fact that they made the playoffs this year. They didn't make the playoffs the previous year. So at least they made the playoffs. So that's at least a step in the right direction. I do think their talent has a little bit improved from the previous season. But nevertheless, I think batting has always been a problem, and Vijay has to figure out how he's going to improve the batting. But I think as a committee member, let me tell you, he did a fabulous job with the grounds. Maybe most of the people only will sit and criticize him, but I look at it at one factor: is DCL a Saturday league? This guy has done what Jagan could not do. So let us give him credit for that. I mean, then maybe he got us, I don't know, Pioneer Park or something, and teams were not happy with that. Big deal. I mean, move on from it. I mean, this is the first year in the job, and if it didn't work out, it didn't work out. But I will give him credit for the fact that he gave us good grounds in the playoffs. All red soil grounds he has managed to procure, at least so far. So give him credit for that. I mean, I know that people want to blame him for a lot of things, but I still feel that the man did a good job. So give him credit for that. I think at least from that angle, I would say. And also from a skipper, I think if he had better talent, he probably could have done a lot more. But again, this is what he had, and so he has to work with what he has. But congrats to Vijay and company. Wish him good luck in the off season, and hope to see them back next season. You know that they will be back next season. So
True. I mean, I look at their batting unit, and after number 5, I don't see a full-fledged batsman in that lineup. And Vignesh has not really played. I was just looking at the stats. He has only played 4 games for them in the season. This is his 5th game. But you see, there are no more batsmen left. That gives a lot of confidence to the opposition as well. And you have someone called Vijay who is playing at number 10, and I'm looking at the numbers. 11 games and 30 runs. I'm not sure what is the team composition about. So little baffled by looking at this lineup as well. And Satish Shankara is opening. He has been playing in the middle order last year, but this year he opened like in 1 out of 20. They were defensive right from the start, because when they lost that second wicket, they were at 6.1 overs, 2 for 4. The same thing happened against the game in the game against GLCC as well, right? Because when they were chasing 37, 38, same thing. I think 6 over 7 runs or something, and you can't actually win games after being so defensive. That's what I felt, honestly. So you see this, right? In at 6.23 for 8, 6.43 for 8. Not until Arun came in, Arun Selvaraj hit those 2 sixes. That's when they got moving. Yeah, that's the problem, and that's a very defensive mindset when going into a game, and a team like Stars will just pounce on you. The same thing happened in this game, because Stars bowling unit, you hit that 4 overs, 4 runs, 2 overs, 4 runs, 3 overs, 5 for 1, 5 overs, 9 for 1. But Arun Lavkumar stole the show. 5 overs, 7 runs, and 5 wickets. And 23 of them are dots. The other 7 runs came in 7 singles. Not even a 2 considered. That was fantastic. Sean picked 3 wickets, and then that was all curtains for Diamonds. The Stars just finished it off in a hurry in 6 overs. They just wanted to get those runs.
KK, your thoughts on Hari Parankusam not playing?
Well, in this game, at least he can play. I don't know why he sat out. Maybe something to do with the new imports as well this season, because Shashank and Arun Lavakumar are the new imports, and he played them in this game, which means he has to free up some spot. And now Hari did not have a great season last year. I think he only scored 23 or 30 runs. But this year he hit some firecracker innings. And that's why I think Hari is in the team, and instead of the other Hari Parankusam.
But Hari Parankusam's problem only gets even more difficult, because now Sai Kiran Tota will become available.
Not just Sai Tota, right? Satya Achanta also qualified. So if he comes in...
So Satya Achanta, Sai Kiran Tota, all these guys become available. Obviously, somebody has to go out of this lineup, right?
I mean, my honest opinion, I think Shashank might sit out.
Okay. And Arun Lavakumar probably might sit out.
No, Arun is not going to sit out. Look at his bowling stats.
But it is bowling stats against who? That is also counts, right?
Well, we can
I can guarantee you, Glad's Place Stars, Arun Lavakumar will not be there.
Okay. That's
I'm
again
willing
if
to
it
take
comes
away.
to the semi-finals. Yeah.
I'm willing to take a wager on that. Oh, remind me. I told you about that juicy this thing, right? So remind me, Stars versus Indus. There's something juicy there.
Again, the point is Arun also adds with the bat.
I
And last
agree.
year,
I'm not. My
Mhm.
point is, you can only play 12 players, right? So
Correct.
obviously, when you are having those two guys, and if those two guys have to come in, then somebody else, two guys have to go out. It's as simple as
True.
that.
True. I see
So
if Sai Toda has to come in.
and then we didn't even talk about Vijay Kumar Matta. So what happens if Vijay Kumar Matta also comes? So in other words, stars are loaded with a lot of stars.
Oh, yes, this year for sure.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, I'll not drop Arun if it was.
So
because,
who would you drop? You would drop Shashank Gowda as one person you would drop. Who's the other
yeah,
person you will drop?
the other person again depends on the next game, right? If you're asking me for the next game, Shashank is going to go out. And if Satya needs to come in, right?
Okay.
It's a very difficult call, Vijay, to be honest.
Okay. All right.
It's a
Well,
very
no, I'm glad it's not your headache and my headache. You see.
Oh, yes.
So basically, you are telling
Well,
me indirectly that
I
we
have an
are
answer.
not going to be seeing Hari Parakusam, our friend, in the playoffs.
Maybe.
And that is a travesty, if you ask me, because that team exists only because of Hari Parankusam.
True.
So
I think
he's the one
Hemant
who
and
created the
Shashank are
team,
going to
and so
start.
this is. Huh?
Hemant and Shashank are going to sit out. If Sai Tota and Satya Achanta come in.
Hemant. Which Hemant?
Hemant Naidu.
Oh, Hemant Naidu. Okay. All right.
There you go.
All right. Sounds good. We'll move on.
Let's move on to the next game. I think we are 1 hour into the show.
Oh, is it? We are into this thing. All right.
The next game is
Yeah.
the most.
What's it?
The next game is going to be the most spiciest of all games for all the masala that has happened.
Yes.
It's United Raptors versus Red Devils. I'm very sorry.
I'm sure you know all the spice into it. So let's. This is what we have heard. I have heard plenty of spice, and I'm sure you have heard even more spice being there. So let's hear the spice kick.
Yeah, it was Raptors who made a blunder. But before we get into the specifics of that, I've said that at the beginning of the season last year that Raptors have all the ingredients, I think, but the main chef and their support staff are not doing a great job. Because with that particular lineup, if you're going and losing a pre-quarters game, I can't say anything else more than that, because I think that harmony is missing, and it showed clearly in this game as well. And the batting order, we'll get into the specifics, but in this game, what happened was Raptors batted first. They batted very defensively, and then when the Red Devils and during the Raptors innings, their skipper Amar left the ground around 12 overs, and when he left the ground, looks like he told the umpire that I'm going out and I'll be back. And he asked the rule to the umpire. The umpire said, you need to come back before the end of first innings, which is not the actual rule. But he said, you need to come back before the end of first innings, or before the first ball is bowled in the second innings. So Amar came back. But then now the Red Devils team objected, saying that, hey, that's not the rule. If the player is out for 15 minutes, he's out of the game. But now whose word needs to be given precedence? Because if the umpire would have said, if you leave and if you're not back within 15 minutes, you're out, then it would have taken a different route. But in this game, the umpire said, you need to come back before the first ball of second innings is bowled. The player came back, going on umpire's words. But then both the teams fought on the rule book, and then the umpire then changed the stand and said, hey, you cannot play the game anymore and you need to field with 10. What are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts on this, KK, let me tell you something. I think this is, let's put it this way. Can we give credit to Swarna Rahul? Because, remember, what is this? Corporate Cup? Not Corporate Cup. Some other cup you had. What was that cup? Some final I saw. Gujarat, T90, right? Swarna Rahul versus Maulik Patel, right? And in that game, Hardeep was hobbled, and there is no way Hardeep could have played that game if Swarna Rahul refused to run her, right? And remember in that game, I said that Maulik did a fantastic buttering job, and Swarna Rahul fell for it. And sure enough, I criticized Swarna Rahul, all right? As much as credit we gave to Swarna Rahul for his outstanding play, I remember saying bluntly that what he did was an absolute blunder. There is no way he should have allowed Maulik to field a runner. I don't care what your personal equation is. We are in the final, and we are in a playoff game. You're trying to beat me, and I'm trying to beat you. All right, let's play by the rules, because that's the common element. So if there is a rule book, follow the rule book. It's as simple as that. There cannot be special things which are made because. But give credit to Swarna Rahul or the management of whoever made the decision. I do not know who made the decision. But there, if it was Swarna Rahul leading, here maybe it is Venkat Kolla leading. I do not know. But nevertheless, the collective management deserves the credit for insisting that the rule book be followed, because that's what got Amar disqualified. You get my point? So I think they are quick learners. They learned at least from our criticism. So whatever is our criticism, it is achieving certain things, in the sense that if you're not playing the game the right way to win the game, then you're out there to win the game. You're not there out to, just have a good time and come back. I mean, you guys have sacrificed the whole season. Let's play hard. Let's play fair and square by the rules, and let's go with what it is, kind of a thing. So I think Amar got caught there, and I think, yes, what are my thoughts on this? I think Amar should not have done this. Amar is the leader of this team. I thought when Kiran came on the show, Kiran said that Amar was leading the team, if I'm not mistaken. And, we had twice we had both Hitesh and Kiran come on the show. They did an absolutely fabulous job of presenting and answering questions, and taking questions head on and answering them. And they presented their team in a very positive light, and they did a fantastic job, if you ask me. I felt bad for them, because these guys, their DCL is their primary goal, and this is all they play. And for years they have been trying. And here Hitesh had left his previous team and come here. He was a key ingredient. He has played fabulously for them. But then, when your own leader, this is not just some average player. This is one of the premium players in DCL, right? He's a very nice guy to deal with, and very easy to get along with. If you watch the videos of him and things like that, he's such an explosive batsman. Everything right, but only one problem. He wants to play DCL and Mishka, and I can't fault him for that. I really can't, because you have a certain shelf life, right? All of us know that during that shelf life, you have to get certain things accomplished, and you have certain dreams. But here is the problem. The Mishka committee and the DCL committee are not working together. And as long as that is the case, players will have to make one choice. It's either DCL or Mishka, because teams will take advantage of it. It's as simple as that. So guess what, KK? For us, ask Satya what I told. If a player wants to play Mishka, and we have Aditya, right? We have Aditya, we have Mansab. Mansab and Aditya have asked this question, or Mansab at least has asked this question about, can we advance the game, and can I leave and all that? And my answer to Satya was very clear. If a player is playing here, he plays the full game. If he cannot play the full game, move on. We have somebody else to take his place. Because in the playoffs, you can't afford to do what we did against Pokeries. When you field with 10 players, a good team, a good opposition will take advantage of you. And Gaba has made these loopholes very, very difficult. You can't find a loophole, really. That he has closed off a lot of the loopholes. So what happens is, you're gone for 15 minutes. Well, guess what? You're done. You can't come back into the game. And guess who's the guy? I call it the Sahesh Wasan rule. Sahesh Wasan was the person who was playing on Gaba's team, if I'm not mistaken, who played here, went to Mishka, came back, bowled another 5 overs or whatever it is. He's the one who created this rule. You get my point? And Gaba is the one who closed up the loophole. But what I'm saying is, I think Amar did not do his team any favors. If I am one of the other 10, 11 guys, I am really not happy. Because you know what? I spent the whole season and you went and played there, and now I had to field with 10 players. And guess what? When you field with 10 players, when Glad's played Pokeries, you think we would have given 143 runs? No, we would not have given 143 runs if we had one more fielder. But when you don't have the fielder and you're compromised, our guys were tired. They were panting by the time the Pokeries made us run all over the field. Everywhere they made us run. They were taking runs at will because they were exploiting it. Now it's a different thing that, that was a league game and we took a chance and we said, you know what, if we lose the game, we lose the game. But we were in a position of strength. We were in the number one spot. So we could afford to take that risk and say, okay, fine. If we lose the game, we'll lose the game. But if we win the game, we have absolute confidence going into the next game against Pokeries, knowing that we won with 10 players. For them, it was an opportunity to play us at our full strength and see what happens. You see, I feel always in the league games, you should try to play the other team at full strength and see where you stand, kind of a thing. I see my good friend Gabaji has joined. That's fabulous. I was not expecting him to join, but nevertheless, but my position is that KK, that I think Amar made a mistake, and Gaba has closed the loophole, and the umpire, whatever he said to this thing, at the end of the day, the umpire is there to is an extension of the DCL committee. If you really ask me, is an extension of the DCL committee. And the DCL committee has instituted a rule book. And if the rule book says something, you have to follow the rule book. The umpire has to follow the rule book. He cannot go by whatever he feels like.
So here is a big question, right? See, the rule book also says if the impact is outside of, you cannot give it out. But the umpire does that, and we say umpire's decision is final. In this case, the umpire said, yes, you can go and be back before the first ball of second innings. So in this case, will the umpire's word stand or will the rule book stand? Because this happened previously in the season as well, where one of the umpires called the SLCC Guardians versus Sterling Strikers game before it reached the halfway mark. He called a DL at the 8-over stage. And then the umpire's decision was considered final.
So here, one point that I want to add, I'm not sure what all you have discussed, but what I understand based on discussion with the umpire and Amar as well, when they discussed that, right, when they told that on 14th over Amar is leaving, they have updated the umpire, but opponent captain has not been updated. If they would have discussed at that scenario with the confidence of opponent captain, then scenario would have been different. If Swarna have been updated that Amar is going and coming back, and he has not objected at that point, probably he wouldn't have objected, at the inning break or something. I don't know when they have objected that particular stand. I don't know. But what I understand in this episode, when Amar left, they did not update the opponent captain. But umpire has been updated. Either umpire or I would say Amar or somebody from the Raptors should have updated the opponent captain as well.
Yeah, but remember Parthiv sent, or I don't know, one of the committee members did send the rule saying that if somebody is leaving, they need to inform the umpire as well as the opponent captain. I saw that very clearly in an email. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gaba.
Yeah, I think so. That is the way it has been written. But umpire, again, anybody should have updated. Umpire also should have been updated. Generally, whenever such scenario happens as a captain, I update both the parties basically. First, I
agree. But what I'm saying is Parthiv did send a communication saying that if somebody, even though it is probably mentioned in the rule book, what I'm saying is Parthiv did mention that if somebody is leaving, you have to inform both the opposing captain as well as the umpire. And sure enough, as Satya, when Ruchit left early, we made him bowl 1 over so that he appears on the scorecard. At the same time, we fielded with 10. But Satya also informed the opposing captain as well as the umpire that this is what is happening. So it's not something which is happening out of the blue. But I don't think the Red Devils did anything on the wrong side. But let me ask you the next question. Let's look at the counter complaint which came from Raptors. They have filed a counter complaint, right? If you ask me, that's kind of a payback complaint because Narendra Ane never played that game, or Narendra Ane did not play this particular game, right? So really, it did not have an impact on the result of this game, all right? But all of a sudden, everybody knew. KK, I have on my text in case Red Devils thinks that nobody knows anything. I have a text here 2 weeks back from one of the DCL guys who told me Narendra Ane did not play the Troy Hawks game, and the Troy Hawks skipper confirmed it. I have it on text, all right? So I knew about it, and they asked me if I was going to make a fuss about it. Guess what? I said, no, I'm not even going to tell even Satya about this. And Satya also did not know that Narendra Ane did not play the game because I kept it to myself. You know why I kept it to myself? Because it's not my headache. I'm not playing Red Devils. When I'm playing Red Devils, then it becomes my headache. But guess what? Even now, I don't care whether Narendra Ane plays this game against Glads versus Red Devils. You know why? Because I know Narendra Ane will not be playing the game because I know he'll be playing the Mishka game. You get my point? Guess who is it going to impact? If Red Devils beats Glads, the team which is going to be really impacted if Narendra Ane gets knocked out there will be either Indus or Stars. It will not be Glads. You understand? Sometimes as a team management, you have to think 2 steps ahead.
But Vijuba, I may not 100% agree on your thought probably, or whoever has sent you that text 2 weeks ago. Ideally, you did not know the impact 2 weeks ago, right? I don't know if you already knew the impact. I don't know, but if
I knew the impact that if Narendra Ane plays, it is going to be Raptors who have to deal with it.
Yeah, but so, later on, after the Raptor, if they would have been knocked out, Ane team, I don't know which team he plays for F40, he would have played this game against you as well, right?
That is true, but at that time I would have objected. No. At that time I would have objected.
No, but it would have been too late, right? What I'm saying is, as soon as this complaint came very late, as you know, right, based on the email that has been came out, right? If somebody would have known earlier and would have updated the committee earlier, it would have been a different case. You would have the committee would have more evidence.
Let me add some additional details here, right? I got an informal text. It's not an official complaint on August 4th, saying that Narendra Ane did not play the game against Troy Hawks. They're trying to qualify him. So the person whoever sent it to me, I asked them, send an official complaint. Only then we can do anything. Because it's not just based on anyone's text. Right? We can go and initiate case, right? So send an official complaint. They chose not to. Yeah. But at the same time, the person is innocent until proven guilty. And in this particular game, I think the opposition captain says, I don't know. I don't remember. Well.
Yeah. So,
KK, I'm not going to say who said this, but offline, I've received the same information that the opposition captain said he did not play.
But that Opti again, that
offline, on paper,
anybody can say anything, right? I gave one example to Parthiv as well, right? Anybody can say anything. I can text anything to KK, but it may not be true, right? So at the end, the official communication we try to reach, as a committee, I think what generally does, try to reach out to all the parties, and based on whatever response me texting you or somebody else texting you does not prove that Ane was there on the ground or not. It was just his view, right?
Okay, but here is the thing. Unofficially, all of us know that Ane was not there on the ground. All right.
I do not know for sure.
Now, okay, all right. For sure. I'm pretty sure.
If the complaint comes on, say August 4th, the same day when we received the text, the memory is still fresh. Okay, you can reach out and say, hey, did you see this guy? But now both the umpires and also the opposition captain are saying it's been a month, we don't remember anything. That's the response we're getting. So we can't really do anything.
But you know what, KK, if this was going to be conducted in a court of law, all right, and I've actually fought in a court of law for like what was that, 8 years? You get my point, and spent over $150,000, and I've spent enough time with lawyers. So you know what is going to happen? You will be put on the witness stand. And once you got to put on the witness stand, if you lie and it is proven you're guilty of perjury and you go to jail, guess what? The moment you're put on the witness stand, many of these statements will change. You get my point? Now, I'm not in that kind of a situation to put anybody on the witness stand, but what I was saying is that's what happens in a real court of law. You get my point, in the sense that if you cannot take the witness stand and knowingly lie and it is proven, you're in trouble. But what I'm saying here is, yes, I think unofficially all of us know. Now, Red Devils, if I were an advisor to Red Devils, I would say don't play Narendra Ane, because the moment you play Narendra Ane, it raises up a lot of angst, not only at the committee, not only at Red Devils. It creates this like, you have won all these games, but as far as our Glatz is concerned, we are very confident, 99.99% confident Narendra Ane will not be playing the Glatz versus Red Devil.
I met him yesterday. He himself said he's not going to play.
Yeah, we met him yesterday. But I think we should, for the larger community, we should not think that way. What Vijubhai is thinking. If you knew something which is not wrong, which is not right, you should simply write a email complaint. Most of the time, I think committee does not even disclose who complained against what, right? So,
Gaba bhai, let me ask you this. There are so many things which goes on. The thing is that I do not know I'm going to be playing Red Devils and who they are trying to qualify. We are not looking at each and every scorecard in minute detail.
No, we are not. Somebody who knew, right?
No. If you are committee, can I give you a solution for next year?
Sure, sir. Go ahead.
The solution would be, you need to show up on the scorecard as doing something. Like what Glatz did with Ruchit Patel. All right. We knew that he was going to leave early. We made him bowl at least 1 over so that he appears on the scorecard. Or if he had batted, we would have opened the batting with him. Simple as that.
But it's not that easy.
But we cannot impose that, right?
Yeah.
You have
to use someone, right?
I'll give you a very simple example. I was not in a state to play. I was still injured. I went and sat in the dugout in a corporate cup game where Blue Cross was playing DT. I sat there through our bowling, and when we were batting, our batsman finished it. I did not have to bat. So do you say I did not play the game? No, I was there.
No. Okay, so then in that case, in that special case, your skipper needs to say that KK played this game, and I am letting you know that even though he doesn't appear on the scorecard, he played the game. The onus is on the skipper to inform the committee. Put the onus on the skipper.
Yeah, a lot of scenarios, right? If someone is just a batsman, if someone is just a batsman, the opposition scored 70 runs and you chased it down with 1 wicket. You lost only 1 wicket and chased it down. The rest of the batsmen did not play. How do you counter all those things? There are 100 things that comes into picture. So it's very difficult to impose that rule.
It can never be imposed.
Yeah.
That is, as a captain,
that practical problems are going to creep up, as the season.
Then we should be happy with these kind of solutions. So
exactly. If the opposition is not complaining and there is no proof, the person did
would
not.
have been if we have a more educated umpires, where umpires actually check.
No, you're in regular season game. You're not going to get more educated umpires and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so all that is not going to. So now, Gaba, for you to say that it is my job to sit and complain, well, it's not my job. You, as committee, you are saying, oh, we can't impose. Well, if you can't impose, it's not my job also to come and sit and highlight each and every problem.
We should go to the old way of writing down the 11 or 12 and get it signed from other captain.
Yeah, but the same thing is happening in.
We used to have a. Right? You know what? In the past, we used to have declare the 12, and you have to give it. The declared 12 has to be given to the other captain.
We're still doing it. It's an app. It's on app, right? Generally, you share. Ideally, you should have been sharing before the toss, but nobody is doing before the toss, I think, with the party relationship. But ideally, before the toss, you should set up the 3 clubs.
Gaba, I am very sure of one thing. If you can find close the loophole on all this players disappearing from one ground and going and showing their face in the other ground and then coming back. I am very sure you're smart enough to find a solution to close this loophole too.
Definitely, we will try from our end next year something to put around something around this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only thing is when we'll be harsh.
Let's move on. I think it's 1.5 hours.
This 25 minutes.
We have this one has consumed everything. All right.
Well,
as far as we are concerned, Narendra Ane is qualified. They can play him. I don't care because I'm not playing him.
Well, let's talk about one other thing, right? I think Raptors did not have the best 12 going into this game. Pradeep Kondreddy is missing, and more than Pradeep Kondreddy, their bowlers are missing in this game. There is no Sai Manoj. There is no Mohit Patel. There is no Ashok Reddy Bhavanam, and there is no Pradeep Kondreddy. 4 of your best 12 are not in the game. You're playing with a depleted unit. And then the batting order raises a lot of concerns because ideally Krishna Chaitanya should not bat this low. He's a top order batsman. You need to play 2 down or 3 down. I'm rushing through because we've consumed a lot of time. And Harsha Ayuri, he's a very good batsman. He's a fantastic all-rounder. He bats through the innings and he's coming here at number 10 with nothing to play there. I mean, there are some blunders there. And also between Hitesh and Pradeep Bota, they were too conservative, scoring 34 runs in about 15 overs. So Raptors are known for scoring big runs. And in this game, I think they did not do that. And when you have an overnight rain, usually it suits the team which is batting first. And that's what I think they failed to utilize that, getting to only 79. Before the game, if you show the scorecard and say it's just 79, Red Devils would take it any day. But I want to mention about one other player called Devraj Patel. 2 days before the game, I went to see practice and see how my foot is moving. I was at the nets and Devraj was bowling, and he has an action of a spinner. He just stands and bowls at a pace of Swarna Rahul. So he's very quick. He's right on target, and he hit my leg twice. So I remember him. I think he's going to do some damage, just as a heads up for your game.
He will be a lot of people will be reaching out to him for the next season.
Yep.
Sure.
And Red Devils, on the other hand, they batted well.
Red Devils are pretty good at recruiting. They have recruited people left, right, and center.
Yeah.
But
the DP is 20 years old guy, kid. I mean, he's just maybe 22 years old.
Yeah, he's very young.
He's very young.
And based on what I knew, Swarna Rahul saw him at the nets. He spends most of the time there, Rahul, and then he recruited him from there. But let's talk about how Red Devils batting started, right? Somit started aggressively, hit 2 sixes, got run out. But then Gagan played very freely. That was very much essential. If you don't get into a shell, you score runs, it helps the team a lot. That we have seen here. Sarath Chandra is a lefty. He played for Kings 11 2021. He contributed well, scored 17 runs. And then Sai Gautam Rangu is in a phenomenal touch, probably form of his life. He's the player of the tournament for the Corporate Cup, the DCL Corporate Cup. And in this game as well, he played well, scoring 18 runs. And they tried to finish it off in a hurry. I see a pattern where Red Devils played against Canton 11. I didn't care how much the score is. Just go play your game, get those runs. That's what happened in this game. And having won this
to touch upon a point which Gaba raised last week, he talked about Amar's bowling, and he said that Amar is such a critical bowler for Raptors. And you know what? In this game, he was not allowed to bowl even one single ball, and that greatly impacted, because when you look at it, these guys scored 80 in 14 overs. I think if Amar played that game, not only you have 11 fielders, but Amar's bowling was critical. You see, so this is where it really, really hurt Raptors. But I think the Raptors have only themselves to blame. I mean, their management needs to come together and sit down and say, hey, what are we doing? How are we approaching the playoffs? I mean, you can go and change your name now to Magnificent Raptors. I don't care what you change it to. The name change doesn't do anything. Fix the attitude, right? I mean, otherwise you're doing a disservice to people like Kiran and Hitesh and those guys who are coming and playing 11, 12 games every single week, they make themselves available, put their body on the line, and guys like Botta and things like that. I mean, I think they need to have complete dedication from everybody and say that either play here or play the other place, or DCL needs to reach an agreement wherein, okay, you guys start your game 1 hour late or whatever it is, and so that our players and their players both are the winners, kind of a thing. But barring such an agreement, you are forced into this kind of an equation where you're forced to pick a choice. So, for example, for us, Arjun Ajmani picked a choice. The choice was very simple. He's not playing F40. He's concentrating only on DCL. It's our bad luck that he got injured and was out of the season. We still managed to bring him back, but that's a different issue.
Well, let me also say something about Kaushik, right? I think he has given his all, played every single game.
Yes.
He was the top scorer for them. He hit 260 runs. He was a six-hitting machine this year, 26 sixes. He scored at 100 strike rate, and in bowling, he was sensational. He picked up 13 wickets. His economy was 2.94. Only gave 2 extras across his 31 overs as bowled. He's done everything that he can, but just ended up on the wrong side.
Yeah, I think I met him as well. He was very disappointed, Kaushik.
Yep.
And can I tell you something, Gaba? Yeah, I'm sitting 10,000 miles away. I do not know anything. I won't be surprised if Kaushik leaves them. Okay? Because he gave 100% to Raptors, all right? And seeing how close he is with the Red Devils, guys, I won't be surprised if Kaushik is in a Red Devil uniform next year.
I doubt it. If he's going to
doubt it, okay. All right, we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? I mean, between now and then, who knows what happens. But I can see why he would be disappointed, because I mean, did you see his batting? It is effortless. He just flicks it and it's going for 6. I mean, it's unbelievable power. I mean, I don't know what that man is eating.
I think he was. I was having some chat with him last week or so after this game. He hit around 200 or some plus sixes, right? If I'm not wrong, you only told him the stats, I believe. This
in 2023, Kaushik has hit 125 sixes since January.
Okay.
Across tournaments.
125 sixes is not joke, It's,
yeah, 125 sixes across.
You guys know Harihar. You guys know Hariharan Dhanasekaran?
I don't.
He was the Megabytes. He was the Megabytes captain. Okay, they won 4 championships. The Hariharan Dhanasekaran played, I don't know what, 12 years in DCL. In 12 years, he never hit 1-6. Take that. And he was opening the batting for Megabytes.
Okay. Yeah, but
all right.
Kudos to Kaushik.
We are at 1.5 hours and we are sitting here. I'm probably the worst host. Let's move on.
Yeah, that's okay. Let's move on. The next game is the most spiciest of all. But before we even get into the game, I would say KRCC brought this upon themselves. They played in a ground which was not booked by the committee. We knew that NPP4, it's going to be a little extra sand, compared to the other 3 grounds. And we purposefully avoided that. But there was little rain on Thursday. There was a significant amount of rain. It left the water marks on the NPP1 field. It's the same thing with NPP2, but Pokeries and Legends continued with that game. So before the game, I was told by Yogesh that they're playing in NPP4. I said, we did not book this. He said he spoke to one of the committee members. Then I called up Jagan because he said he spoke to Jagan. And Jagan said, I not give him any ground. I put it on speaker and said, Yogesh, you said you have confirmation from committee members. And then we said we would not book the ground. And because when we did not book the ground, if someone comes and claims that they booked the ground and we are kicked out from that particular ground, guess what would have happened? If Red Bulls is not ready to play again, then Bulls would have gone through automatically as higher seeding.
Okay.
Right? And then they played in this game. They played in that particular ground, and it is low scoring. Because I remember we played in 2021 against Kings 11. It was a 53-run game. The position scored with 8 wickets down. The same thing, we have seen it repeat again and again.
Yeah.
Right?
Kings 11 was played on the same ground.
They should play on the same ground which is booked. If you are playing somewhere else, then you're playing at your own discretion. and then one of the teams which has the better ranking will go through automatically.
KK, let me tell you something. August 26, 2023, Vatsal became a Bulls legend. All right? He's going to be a Bulls legend forever because, and what he did on August 26, 2023 is unbelievable. Believe it or not, KK, correct me if I'm wrong. There are 39 teams in DCL. There were 38 teams rooting for Bulls because 38 teams do not have the advantage what Yogi Bhai has, right? It's as simple as that. You can either sweep it under the carpet or not talk about it publicly, whatever it is. Let's call it for what it is. 38 teams do not have the advantage. Go and watch the Glads versus who do we play? Miles. You will see there are guys sitting and you can hear it on the video. Many of the guys excitedly telling that KRCC lost. And there are Glads guys there. There are Miles guys there. And everybody is, propagating the news. And I'm hearing this. And that's when I start looking at this thing because I was fully immersed in the Glads game. But my first news came from the Glads guys saying it on the video that KRCC lost, and so immediately somebody from the boundary, I think it is Fahim, who says KRCC lost. It's kind of like it just spread like anything, and that was the same reaction all across. But give credit to Bulls. Bulls did the unthinkable. None of us thought it was possible, but they did a phenomenal job. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Bulls were ranked higher, but everybody expected KRCC to win, and nobody saw this coming. And that too, if you told me they did it without Geeno James, I mean, I would. That's what makes it even more impressive. But I think Vatsal deserves all the credit you can give him in the world because he is the key difference. The difference is in the leadership. He has made them into believers. He has made them and challenged them and motivated them. They always had people like Geeno James. Their talent hasn't changed much. They're getting more production out of Nikhil Sunny. They're getting more production out of whether it is Geeno or who's that? Their one down batsman, two down batsman, Gaurav Hiremat. Yeah. Yep, he's playing well. All these guys are playing, and their bowling has been performing lights out. I do not know, but 38 teams were very happy there that KRCC lost.
I mean, I have,
and it's but Yogi Bhai is a well-liked guy, but unfortunately, all the teams are rooting against him. That's his problem.
Yeah, that happens with the defending champions, right? Everyone wants a new champion, so that is part of the problem.
I didn't feel the same way when Indus Thunders won, right? I mean, okay, that's fair enough. Indus won. Indus is a good team. They have done a fabulous job leading this thing. I'm sure if Bulls won the championship, I don't think we are all saying, "Oh, let's hope Bulls is going to lose. Let's hope Bulls is going to lose." I think with KRCC, that's the problem is on a different dimension. It is that we don't have access to the same kind of possibilities. That's where the problem begins.
And maybe you can probably not take the opposition seriously before the game, but when the game is going on, you never take it easy. I think that's what happened in this game because KRCC had Bulls by the throat, 6 for 8 in 9.1 overs, and then see what they did. They throw around the ball to 7 bowlers. What was the need? 9.16 for 8. Any other captain would say, hey, let's finish it off. Let's finish off all the 4 guys at the top. Let's take those wickets. You don't have to go to 5th, 6th, 7th bowlers. Because if really it comes to 5th, 6th, 7th bowlers, you can then bowl them. But I think that's what happened.
Also, I would have liked to see Yogesh bat in this game. I think Yogesh could have done a better job than Mufi in the end.
Yep,
that's
he's the highest averaging player for.
Yes, the guy with the highest average did not get to bat. But this is what I don't understand. You spend all the money, but you know what? Somebody else is sitting there and making the decision. Well, he himself is not scoring any runs.
Yep, and look at one more thing here. See, there is a fall of wicket at 0.3. 1 for 1. Tamimoni comes in, defends the ball. Next ball he hits it for 6, and third ball he's out. Again trying to hit one more. So you are taking your opposition lightly, is what I feel.
Okay. Well, I do not know. Oni is an aggressive batsman, so Oni sees a ball he likes to hit, he'll hit it. That's the Oni that I know. So, but yeah, this was a bad loss. But let's move
we
on.
need to call out something. Jasneet Singh walked out even before the umpire gave it us out. That's one thing in this game. And also when Detroit Bulls were batting, uh, it was one of Vikas or Chinmay who got an inside edge onto the pads. The umpire gave it out, but then Jasneet called that particular player back, even though Yogesh was against it. Again, Jasneet
How many runs did that cost?
5 or 6 runs, the margin of victory.
Aha.
And
I bet Yogesh is not too happy about it. I wouldn't be too happy about it because you know
maybe
what?
not, but we also have to remember Jasneet and a lot of these guys like Vatsal or Omkar Atre, they all played for Warriors together. So that relationship
Okay.
would have also played a factor, calling back the batsman.
Well, you know what, Vamsi, at the end of the day, when all these relationships come into this thing, you don't have a good game. And what happens is you end up losing the game. This is exactly what Swarna Rahul found out in the T90 Cup. He corrected that in this game against Raptors, right?
Yeah. Now Satya is back. He's going to take over.
Okay. He's back, yeah.
Yep.
Well,
The next game is
what's our next game? Fighters versus Titans, right? Well, let's give it over to the head Titan itself. Ask him what went wrong. Gababhai, let me be honest with you. This was the most lopsided game. So you need to come up with some answers as to what. And here is the problem. I mean, everybody was lining up to play you, and they'll all say this is the reason why we wanted to play the Titans. Now you tell us what went wrong. And I'll tell you later what I think is wrong, but that's a different issue.
Nothing went right. Forget about what went wrong.
Okay, all right.
Starting from the toss, actually, this kind of games, as KK was mentioning, right? When the pitch is little already soft, you wanted to bat first, right? And play off as well, right? So we lost the toss as well. And in the whole season, we did not chase enough. That was a fall that I already knew. And last couple of games, even though after winning the toss, we wanted to chase. So I'm not sure if somebody's messaging, but yeah. So that was the one thing. And then when we started, we dropped 2-3 catches, that cost us around 40 odd runs. We dropped Naveen, we dropped Mano, we dropped both of those when they were very less run. And then Parag has an issue with the landing. He because he's a short runner guy, right? And he used a lot of, when he's putting the ball pace on the ball, he uses his right leg. So his landing foot is very important. Because the pitch was soft, he was having very difficult for landing. So that is where he was not able to bowl. I don't know. That was the reason I know this because I have played with him a lot of time. That was our key, which could not work properly for us, And the remaining bowler also did, I think, somehow did not support. And I already knew this from the fighter that I told them. They are very, very, very good runner. Okay, if Bulls guys are listening, they are extremely good runner. They are all 4 or 5 batsmen who comes on the top. They can take singles from your hand as well. So you have to be extremely quick when you are fielding inside. Somehow we were slow that day. So neither fielding work nor bowling work, and the batting, as we already knew that batting is the constraint. 116, we wanted to have a very good start, and if you see, right, a couple of decisions did not go in our favor. Ankesh wasn't out. We have seen that video. It was extremely close. After 10 times watching the video, we are not able to decide, and then with the naked eye, umpire has given him a run out. That was one thing, and then after that, Rupesh and Praveen, again, they did not click. We were again 4 for 10 run, and then from there, it was very tough. So it, I think it did not work out. That's what I would say. as a captain, probably. Yeah. Analysis, we already did analysis from my side, and I told my team and the core people like what could have done better, not just for this particular game, but throughout the season, so that we would have been even much stronger in this particular game.
Gababhai, I want to say that Venkat Vatnala, I don't know what the man is eating. 4 overs, 2 maiden, 6 runs, 3 wickets. For a guy who's probably over 50, if I'm not mistaken, or must be hitting 50 very shortly. I mean, he never looks to age. That is ridiculous figures. Mano had 3 overs, 1 maiden, 6 runs, 3 wickets. These two guys both broke the Titans back. Especially with no MBB, I think all of us predicted Titans to win. But the Fighters guys put on a show. I think what a difference a week makes. This week I'll be interested to see how many people have jumped to the Fighters side in the Fighters versus Bulls game, because clearly that was not the matchup which we were all thinking was going to happen. But Titans, if you ask me, I think the bowling let them down because you guys have not given up this many runs all season long. And then playoff comes and you have given up that many runs. And that really is a problem. The league MVP was Parag Karwadi, at least in the bowling department. He had a bad game. Again, this is what I was saying even with the Canton Hurricanes game. I said Mohammad Ramsey had a bad day with the ball. But did not expect Parag to have, especially since he was leading by such a significant margin in terms of wickets. Now you're telling me that the landing was a problem. Yeah, I mean, I do not know what to say to that other than I know the pain which you take as a skipper, Gababhai, and I have a lot of respect for that because you know what, when we lost in the first round, I don't know, 2 years back or whatever it is, when Strikers beat us, I know the feeling which we went through, and it stings. But still, I came on the show and answered the questions, or because I don't believe in ducking, and it's the same thing which you have done. It requires a person of character to do it. It sure hurts, but only a genuine guy can do it. But honestly, as a well-wisher, Kaba, I would say some structural changes are needed on the team. Either that or your players have to produce more. The batting all season long, Vihar has been holding one end up, but maybe one game DG clicks, another game Rupesh clicks, but it becomes you and Vihar have to carry it. Others have to step up. You have Amrit Yadav. He's not done much. He has to take responsibility and say that I have to do more. I mean, for example, I'll give you an example. Taif, this week on our team, he offered to be number 14 for our playoff game because he felt that he was not producing, you see. So he said, if you have 12 other guys better than me, please take them. That's taking responsibility, but we are choosing to say that, you know what, if we win, we'll win with Taif. If we lose, we'll lose with Taif. It's as simple as that. And I can understand the loyalty which comes from a team, but also the player has to raise up his responsibility. So that's something which they have to look at. But also, 50 points and getting out in round one is a real disappointment. But I'll give you this much credit for the work which you have done. Because when Gladys did the same thing, I know the pain which you go through. And so I feel the pain. I'm sorry that this happened. But at the same time, I think you should hold your head high because only a genuine guy can come and approach it and answer the question truthfully. And I'll tell you one thing, Gaba. This is based on whatever I have seen in the show and my interaction with him. I had a lot of respect for you as an analyst. That's why we brought you on. But having gone through everything which I've gone through on the show, I know I can go to any battle with you and you'll always have my back. So I just want you to know that despite the disappointment, at some point there is going to be a disappointment. If not this round, next round, whatever it is.
Yes.
Look forward to what you can improve upon. and what can be done. There are some structural changes which needs to take place. Having said that, look at the positives also, which is that, your character is intact. You're a person of integrity. Same thing applies to KK and to Parthiv. I mean, I feel one of the reasons for the success of the show is because we ourselves get along very well with each other. We all express our opinions frankly, and it comes out in the show. We say, and we might disagree from time to time, but there is always that respect which is there, which is that person, whatever he says, he's saying what he thinks is right, but that doesn't mean that he's opposed to me or anything. It's just that on that particular thing we are disagreeing, but other than that, there is no issues. I mean, even on this question of how to deal with this question of 12 players, and we have a disagreement, but that's just a disagreement. It's not an earth-shattering thing. But just wanted to wish you best for the off season. But even so, I know that you faithfully carry out your responsibilities as a committee member. Fabulous job on doing the umpiring and rules changes and plugging the loopholes and things like that. The league should be happy to have a guy like you. But you know what you need? You need a guy like KK, a guy who can pounce on a ball like a lion pounces on killing a deer. So that's you need somebody who can give you that bang, whether it's at the end or at the start or somewhere, a difference maker, an X factor. So I don't know. I know that Avinash Raghu probably has played his last game as a Pokeries guy. All right. I don't know if the Pokeries realize this or others realize it. That's just my opinion. Avinash has not told me anything. I just feel that now that he's not playing for Pokeries in the last few games, I feel he has played his last game as a Pokeries guy. So if that is the case, I already told you and Parthiv, hey, this guy might be available. You guys should think about recruiting. I'm just trying to help you guys out. But that's all. Anyway, You got where I'm coming from. That's all.
Yeah. Thank you, Vijay bhai, for your kind words. And as you mentioned, right, I already knew that there are a few things that we need to fix. Let's see how we can improve next year. But thank you for your kind words.
All right, you're welcome.
I think you summed it up very well. And Kavabai, I know it's not easy to smile when it's hurting, but you've done. Yeah.
But more it hurt, like Vijay told, right? We should have fought better. Losing and winning is different thing, right? But the way we have lost, it shouldn't have happened.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
We could have played much better cricket than what we have played that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, KK, Lions versus GLCC. It's all yours.
I mean, what do we say, Vijay? Malik wanted one wish, but it did not come true. He thought GLCC is an easier opponent compared to others. It did not matter because
no. Let me qualify. I think you're misquoting Malik. Malik wanted Gababai. All right, Malik wanted Gababai. He missed Gababai by 1 point. All right, if he had taken the bonus against who is this? Whichever team he lost to, was the local boys, right? If he had taken the bonus point, Fighters would have been playing GLCC, you see, and he would have been playing Gababai. But he wanted Gababai. That was his goal. All right. He didn't get Gababai. So the next goal was, well, I would rather play GLCC than play Glads.
Sorry, go ahead.
Gaba, Maulik, and Tejas plays on the same team in the Corporate Cup, DCL Corporate Cup. So in one of the encounters, looks like Maulik told Tejas that, yeah, it's easy, we will get you.
So that is a fun
Maulik told Tejas, we will get you, is it? But
yeah, he said it's easy to play GLCC than Stars.
So
Maulik was confident going into the game. I'll tell you exactly where Maulik failed. I'll tell you where Maulik failed also.
But
Maulik did fail. Personally, Maulik had a very good game.
No, yes.
He himself did a fabulous job. In fact, even today, just before the show, he told me how he hit Akash for a huge six, and Akash was shivering in his boots. Okay.
I was the 12th man, right? I saw Maulik hit those clean sixes. You don't even have a doubt that it's a six. He hit it so clean.
Yes.
If I was one of the audience, I would have really enjoyed that, but not in the when someone in the opposition hits that. But also, let me say this, right? I think they started very cautiously, and at the 12-over stage, I would say they were ahead. And if not for the 12.1, the delivery which Hemant bowled to get Ronak Patel, they would have got a lot more. If Satya, you can open that YouTube link, go to 56 minutes and 50 seconds.
Okay.
Do you have it?
You even have the minute.
Yeah, because we are running out of time. That's why I had it ready.
Okay, no. I mean,
No,
that's good. That's good.
You can share it,
That's
KK.
good.
I'll just stop.
Okay.
this. I have to bring it up now.
I see my good friend Geeno James has joined.
No.
Geeno,
Actually,
hi.
Satya,
Yeah.
go ahead. Actually, you share because I'm off laptop now. I'm on mobile.
Oh,
I sent you the link in our WhatsApp group.
You sent it in WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay, all right. But having said that,
Continue, right? Once
Yes.
Ronak got out, that opened the gates. They were 44-2 at 12-over mark. And, there's Ishan to come, there is Maulik to come, Ronak is set. So you're probably looking at 13 overs, 60 more. But then 60 to 70 more. But then Ronak got out the very ball after the break. 56 minutes and 50 seconds, Satya. And then, Dwanit was also there. Then what happened is, Hemant got him with a peach of a delivery. That ball, I would say 9 out of 10 times you'll get a wicket. It's very similar to the ball which Satya bowled, attacking the stumps with very good pace. The first ball after break, I would still count it as the first ball for a batsman. So that's how.
Now you have got me excited that I want to see the ball. So let the audience see the ball.
Yep. And then Maulik at 22.2, he hit a 6. Their score was 86. And then the very next ball, he went for another shot and got out. And if Maulik was still there for the last 15, 16 balls, they would have got easily 20 runs. That probably was the difference between them scoring 90 and 105. You see, in last 15 balls, they only got 4 runs and they lost all their wickets. Viral bowled beautifully, 18 for 4. He was sensational. Then Samish bowled good. Akash is the only one who did not get those wickets, but still had 15 dots. I would say overall, Gujarat Lions did very well in the first half of the innings. But when we went into bat, I would say the first wicket partnership gave us the edge over Gujarat Lions because when I got out at 4.5, we were 29. And the rest 20 overs, you have 9 wickets in hand and 60 runs to score. The pitch was very good to bat on. And you can see that Prabhu got out just 2 balls before the last runs were hit. So it was a comfortable victory because once we got the start, it's a matter of when will we finish it. And Tejas batted very well, for his 33. Once I got out, he slowed down considerably. He made sure we get the partnership. And he took most of the strike when Akash wasn't there. Because when Akash played, he went in the 5th over and he got out in the 13th over. In a span of 8 overs, Akash only played 15 balls or 14 balls. So most of the strike was taken by Tejas there.
Yep. I think the first wicket was a controversial decision, KK, from Shivan's wicket.
There were 3 decisions that were controversial. When one of the teams said it's not out, the other team said it's out. One is Gujarat Lions, Shivam's. And then Ajit Jaisingh's was a huge inside edge.
But
watch the video, it touches the bat, hits the leg.
What was your thought? Because I know you will be watching outside from outside, right? Because Maulik was little bit upset with that decision because the first wicket is actually, if you ask me, right, very crucial because sometimes it opens the game, right?
True. Now
the game is done, right? So what was your thought about that particular decision?
Yeah, the wicket keeper felt it was out. He said there's a deviation clearly off the bat. Okay, there was no sound that I heard, especially from outside. We were not behind the wicket. The behind the wicket dugout was occupied by Lions. It was on this side of it.
Can you see, guys?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can see.
Yes, you can. That was the ball.
Can we drag that little bit? I would like to see that first wicket also. Like,
that is a vicious in cutter.
yeah.
Okay, KK, I wanted to say that I think we ourselves made a mistake to Maulik. We on the show last week we said 90 is a par score for Gujarat Lions. If you bat first, you should score 90, and that should be good enough. But I think where we made the mistake is, I think in terms of Gujarat Lions, they probably need a little more runs. I do not know what you guys feel, but I personally felt that the Gujarat Lions bowling is not really up to the mark. And Tarun Agara was their best bowler all through the season. But in this game, you see that 5 overs, he went for 31 runs. And even though he took 4 wickets, he should have bowled more like 5 overs, 15 runs, you see. Something like what Ophir did or Ronak Patel did. Ronak Patel bowled very well. But the problem is, the guys whom they are taking for bowling, whether it is Tarun or Ronnie, they are leaking runs. And so,
I'll say something about that. No, I'll say something about that on the Friday before the game. Okay, the Friday before the game, it was I think 1:30 or 2 a.m. in the night, and then I started watching how Tarun and Ophir bowls, because I've not seen them bowl before. I've opened up some videos. I saw what lengths they were bowling, and I also realized from their 2 of their close games that Tarun is a guy who will pounce on the opposition if his first over goes well. So my plan of action was very clear to attack Tarun. The first ball I faced, I wanted to whack him out, but it didn't work. It got a single. The second ball, I hit a 6.
Okay.
The second ball that I faced in that over, because my plan of action was to dent that confidence of that particular bowler who's good for that particular game. I'm not saying that it's going to happen every single game in every single opposition, but when I saw 2 or 3 games, the bowling videos, that's what I realized. But once we got that, I think the gates opened up at 4 over stage, because after the 12 runs of Tarun Agara's over, he bowled the second over of the innings. The 4th over, he was replaced by Shivam Jadeja, you see, and that over again went for 10 runs. So these kind of little things will also matter. And it's not just the captain who is responsible for a team winning a game, right? Every player needs to come prepared when it's playoffs. We play the entire season for that. We joined the team for a purpose. I want to win. Every player wants to win, but are we really putting that effort, coming into the game? That's what also matters.
Yeah.
And it's my 7th year of DCL, so something has to happen.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, you have to do your homework. I mean, that's very important, I think. But I think Maulik can hold his head high, because he himself performed very well. You get my point, both with the bat and I mean, whatever he could do from his end, he did. But I think the bowling is where they have a problem, because their bowlers definitely 90. Almost any of the other 15 teams would have defended it. You see, but I think the Gujarat Lions bowling more than all the other teams are very, very weak, and the bowlers they're counting on are not really delivering. So in this case, it would be Ronnie and Tarun just did not deliver. Ronak Patel delivered, but what about the other guys? So that's where the issues.
Tarun came back strong in his last 4 overs. He took 4 wickets for 19 runs. But Ophir did not deliver. Shivam Jadeja, whom we spoke of very highly, right?
KK, this business of wickets is very deceiving. I can come and bowl, and I can bowl 5 overs and pick up 6 wickets. But if my 5 overs went for 150 runs, what's the big deal with the 6 wickets? That's fool's gold, right? That's fool's gold. You look at what the Bulls did. They defended 44 runs. Now that's called bowling, right? I mean, this is an aggressive batting lineup, and the Bulls defended 44 runs and allowed only 39 runs. I mean, that's called bowling. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
You guys
Yeah.
are all
Can't
good.
agree.
Anyway, I want to say, KK, you and who's the Tejas, the way you guys have been starting, both against Titans as well as against Lions. You guys reminded me of Gordon Greenwich and Desmond Haynes. I
You
mean,
can say
Gordon Greenwich
whatever
and
you
Desmond
want.
Haynes. Yeah, you are Gordon Greenwich. You're whacking the ball out of the park, and
Let-
when you're whacking the ball, I mean, it is devastating. It is inspiring. It is complete bombardment. And when it's working, all credit to you. I mean, you guys set up the win, so you guys deserve the credit. But do you remember one thing? Okay, Malcolm Marshall, when he was dying of cancer. Gordon Greenwich, believe it or not, KK, I'm telling you the truth. You can go and check it out. Gordon Greenwich and Desmond Haynes spent time with Malcolm Marshall when he was on his deathbed. And Gordon Greenwich he was just a bunch of bones. He was that weak. Most people may not realize this. He was just a bunch of bones. He was hardly recognizable. It was Gordon Greenwich used to personally give Malcolm Marshall a bath. That is a team player. That is the kind of guys I think of you and Parthiv and the guy on the right side, my friend Gabaji. I mean, you guys do a fabulous job, but on your respective teams also, you guys do a fabulous job. So thank you for everything which you do. Congrats on the win. I think we have
You-
Geeno.
I want to say one final thing.
2 minutes on this game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want to
alright,
say one thing else. One other thing, when you're comparing us with those greats, I'll honestly say something. Rahul Bandari was one of the umpires, and after the game, he told me and Tejas that in his entire career, he has not seen someone run that bad with such bad coordination.
Okay.
Because I was yet to take a jog in 5 weeks when I played this game. Okay, I'm wearing with 2 different shoes on 2 different legs, one to support the right heel, the other one to give me stability. And there were easy singles. Tejas was calling for it. He was running halfway down the pitch, coming back, and I was refusing to take singles. But kudos to that guy. He still was very patient and played the tennis.
But who needs singles when you can hit sixes and fours, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Anyway, I think our friend Gaba had something to
just
say
to-
on this game.
I think on the same note, first I'll start with the KK. I was speaking to KK some time back, I believe. We need to appreciate Akash and Samesh Bhai also, because it is tough call to. I know he's partially fit, right? He's not fit, so he is getting a chance and getting a specific role, and KK is actually executing that right perfectly. He doesn't need to play 20 balls. I told KK Bhai, when you are able to do your job in the 4 ball, first 3 boundary and getting out, scoring 10-15 run in the 4 ball, which generally, ideally, 30 to 35 ball, on average, batsmen also take 35 balls to score those 15 run. That when they are coming opening, you're doing fabulous, okay? But, he has got a lot of backing from the Samish Bhai and Akash as well, I believe. That is, I'm not sure what is going to happen on this Saturday. Because when I talked to him again yesterday, he wasn't very sure about his playing 12. Obviously, no team might have declared on Wednesday, but that kudos goes to KK as well as the leadership of GLCC as well. On the second note on the leadership, I would like to give a lot of kudos and credit, appreciation for the Maulik Patel as well. It is not easy to get a team like Alliance from where he has started, okay, the kind of people he started with, and then slowly and gradually, brick by brick, every game he was keep on working, keep on looking for the players, get the right players for the right matches. It was not an easy job, and he did fabulous as a captain for the Gujarat Lions first edition, getting the team on the playoff. Kudos. As well as his personal batting as well. He himself carried the whole Gujarat Lions batting on his shoulder, and a lot of kudos as a batsman and as a keeper to the Maulik Patel. That is my.
Maulik Patel was the Gujarat Lions' best batsman. Do you disagree with that?
No.
Without a doubt, hands down, he was the best batsman on Gujarat Lions.
But thing is, right, he is coming from the bad season, 2022. I think we need to pull up the record. He did not score enough, right?
Yeah, but the previous year he was the league leader,
comes.
right?
because I know Maulik is a very big player. He might not carry that kind of baggage with himself, but it actually affects when you are having a bad season and then going into the new season as a leader with the new team. You may, at one point maybe when he started might have something on his mind, when he's starting. How about my own performance? Because I did not perform well in the last season. Whatever could be the reason, I know the reason. I don't want to spell here, but I just want to appreciate Mulligan there.
But you know what? Just now I got confirmation that my friend Ravi Narala can expect some fireworks if Ravi Narala has the guts to open the bowling, because my friend KK will be opening the batting. Take it for that. So if I'm sure.
He said I'm playing. He said I'm playing. I don't know if I'll be opening.
Yeah. You'll be opening the batting. I had 99.99% confident. All right, take that. Just like I was confident on Narendra Ane, 99.99% confident. So let's write that off. Talking about leadership, we have the greatest leader in DCL this year in Vatsal. All right. I mean, that's my personal opinion. Well, Vatsal was supposed to show on the show, but he sent Geeno James, who was another great leader, who is the first person who actually put our Bulls on the map. He's the one who was one of the main architects who took them to relevance and then handed it off to somebody else. Now, he's on the show, and I am sure everybody in DCL wants to know, how did this miracle happen? This miracle of August 26, 2023 happen. And Geeno, I do not know, we can't see you, but if it would be nice if you can turn on the camera so that we can see your pretty face. I guess he's turning on the camera. Good. Geeno, welcome to the show. We are happy to have you. And before I let these guys ask the question, all of DCL wants to hear the Bulls version. All right. Now, here is the beauty of the thing. You yourself were not there at the game. So you got all the impression from everybody else. So you're free to say exactly what you heard, which is first-hand information. All right. Now, please take us through the game and tell us the key points where the game changed. What was the things which propelled Bulls to victory? What was the key decisions made? What really made this shocker happen, which 38 other teams were rejoicing on their ground, saying that KRCC lost, So take us through the game, Geeno, but congrats, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the Bulls uniform this week.
Yeah, thanks, Viju, and thanks everyone for the invite. Yeah, talking about the game, I think one of the best games we ever had. Especially to do that in the playoff and against the top team. So a special win, right, for us. And I was not there. I was in India, but I was closely following. Felt like we didn't have any chance at the 12-over break or by 9th over. And no, but kudos to the team. Like, I know like Vatsal had enough or more than enough. He trusts everyone in the team. Like, we can pull anything off. Like how he conducts himself and how he makes everyone feel that like he's important in the game and he can do it. Whenever whatever the situation is, we have faced it. Like our batting and bowling was not clicking many games, but he gave us confidence that like we can do it with our bowling whenever we were down. And I think exactly the same thing happened. I thought 60 was a good score and we will be able to defend it, but we were short like by 45. And even when we start bowling, I know that they're gonna try to finish it earlier, but if we get like 3 wickets on the top, maybe Tamim and Hemant, I think we were in the game. I know because I know our bowling will be good enough to defend if no one or the main batsman has been gone. So I think key important things were like fielding. I heard like so much things from outside and inside. Like there were three tremendous catches.
Who were
Um,
the three guys who took those tremendous catches?
I think one was Asanka. I think he fielded between cover and point, and
Okay. Whose
another
catch
one
did
was
he take,
uh,
if you know?
I don't know. I think it was, if I look the scorecard, I think it was Sahesh who was playing like
Okay.
24 balls, right? So um, I even heard from one of another one, like he himself was like, I mean, they were stunned like those three catches. So
No, so
uh,
the other two catches were by who?
one
The other
was
two
by the
great catches.
keeper,
Okay.
Chinmay, and
Okay.
the other one was by Vikas. I think I don't know whose catch was. It was, I think it was Siban's catch.
Okay. Oh, Ziban is a key wicket.
Yeah.
Absolutely key wicket.
Jiban was
The,
bold.
the,
Ziban is bold. Vikas took
Then
Raza Ali's catch.
I think Rasa maybe, yeah. So yeah, I think fielding has been great all season. We have not dropped many catches. I think the maximum or the worst feeling we had was against Titans. We dropped two or three catches, but other than that, I think we took all our chances in the field. There has been like, if I could show like some catches we had, like we don't record the matches, but it would be, I have never seen some catches like that in DCL.
okay.
So I think that also changed the match to our favor, and also I think there was crucial decisions by Vatsal to bring back many bowlers at the right time, especially after the break. So because when I think our decision was to bowl another bowler, but he changed right right when the 13th over was starting. So that was a key thing to get two wickets in that over, and get to 8 down, and yeah, and then he finished the game with two wickets.
I mean,
So
he himself was 4 wickets he took. I mean, that was a fabulous outing. I mean, he really carried the team on his back. But I wanted you to know, and I wanted Vatsal to know that he was the unanimous game changer of the week. Sure, Bangera scored, I don't know, 74 runs not out, and Hardeep scored 65 runs not out. But every one of us voted for Vatsal as the game changer of the week. So please do ask him to contact Satya and collect the gift certificate to our favorite restaurant, Akshay Patra. But who
sure.
have been generous to sponsor the award, kind of a thing. But having said that, I want to give the opportunity to KK and uh, Gababai, because I'm sure they are raring to ask you questions. You see.
Yeah, I'll go first. Jinobhai, how are you?
Good.
I hope all good with your India trip.
Yeah, it was when it went fast but hectic, and
So
I'm
my
back.
first question is how badly that you missed that game. I and one more thing, how badly you missed that hurdle discussion. I heard that more than 1 hour hurdle discussion has happened after that game.
Yeah.
But we got a video, right? Was it KK
Yeah,
who
but
sent the
that was a
video?
short video. But Viju bhai, the
Ah,
hurdle was more than 1 hour. After the winning
okay.
that game, they were just on the hurdle for 1 hour. I know I can when I see that video and when I heard about those discussion, I got the goosebump. That because Detroit Bulls are the kind of team that everybody wants to build. I was also I like that kind of team. So I just uh, throw some lights on that particular thing because you must have been feeded what has been discussed, what was the journey, and how badly did you miss? That was my first question.
Yeah, I really missed it. Like even that feeling or the goosebumps, after the win would have been like really great, right? After playing this many years, and to have that special win, yeah, really missed it. Um, but the huddle, I would say, like we usually have that huddle after every win. Like it doesn't go 1 hour. I haven't. I didn't know that. I didn't know that it went 1 hour. But I saw the video and I feel like that. I mean, like I know that generally the team is like very excited always. Like they believe they can do it. All the guys who are there, I feel that it's a team. Like it's not a one person. That's why I always say like I don't care like if I am not there or if Vatsal is not there or if Nikhil is not there or Gaurav or anyone. Like team should not be dependent on one person. We should be able to win that game. So I think that's what exactly they did. Like every game we never had everyone, but I think everyone took their chances whenever they got them. Like they contributed by a wicket or by a good catch or but scoring 5 to 10 runs at least. So I think that's a key difference in the season as well. I felt like we played as a team. We backed up each other whenever we were in backside. Like we and everyone was encouraging each other, right? And whenever we are down, and we didn't put our shoulders down in any circumstances. So I think that was one of the key reasons. Even here, I know that Vatsal will be motivating everyone in the field that we can do this, and he has been doing that every game from the start. So fantastic leader. So we're lucky to have him, and lucky to have the team as well. I know that everybody plays for the team. Like I know that there were many games I felt like, oh, we had like 13, 14 people who can play the game, but unfortunately they cannot. Like you can play only 11 at all. But I think everyone, was good enough to sit out sometimes or like, play whenever they get the chance and contribute to the team. So it's been very a supportive team all year.
That's good to know. My second question before I'll ask actually, I played with Vassal alongside 3 4 years ago, probably when he last played in Michigan
Mm-hmm.
before this season, and I know him. He's a very great person from that time. He's a great cricketer, but I have never seen a leadership means because I've not seen to him towards as a leader. Okay, because that time he was just playing, and he came back after 3 years. And you were part of the Bulls core from very long period of time. I think you have huge say on most of the decision in the Bulls, right? That is why I pointed question to you. What did you see on the Vassal and gave a captaincy to a person who did not play DCL for the last 3 years? Coming back to your team as a new person and leading the team. So I have a
Excellent.
lot of credit the way Vassal has done. Even if you guys are following, I was telling Viju Bhai that Vassal is making a difference to the team. If Viju Bhai remember, right, when we were discussing about Mahesh and Vassal, right?
Yeah,
So
and I've been also saying that, right? I mean,
yes,
the
yes, yes,
difference between
definitely.
last year and this year has been that the Vatsal's leadership.
Yeah.
But what
So
the question you asked is an excellent question. I would
yeah,
like to
and
hear the
why
answer.
I'm saying, back in 2007, when before that probably when Dhoni has been given a captaincy, right? There are a lot of more people who would have got that captaincy. Maybe a little bit senior than Dhoni, but there are the core people or whoever has taken. Some people say Sachin has suggested something, but whoever has done it, they did the fabulous. I think after Kapil or maybe Ganguly, he became everybody knows. Nobody, nothing to talk about Dhoni. So please, that credit goes to probably you because I don't know who else as a part of the core, but we would like to understand why Vassal.
Yeah, so it's a tough question, but uh, so you guys know that we had a different team last year, right? So we lost many players, Mahesh, Naveen, and all those many players are playing in fighters from our team now. Um, so if he was there, maybe Mahesh would have been the lead captaining because he did lead us last year. And I think end of last year, Vatsal also joined us. So he played like I think 5 to 6 games as well. And there was a point that we might not even have a team, right? Like, to be fair and like open this year. But then we checked with the team, like, what's the should we play? How do we feel the team? And everyone says like, let's play. Like, we always do. Every time we lost Neil and somebody else, when we were in the prime, like, or we were actually getting into the prime, like, we lost many people. So again, the same thing happened, but we were like confident that, okay, we can get a good team back. And even I see that Vatsal was talking to me, like, I can, we can play, I will be back. So I see his enthusiasm, like, to play the cricket here. He came back, he was excited to join back, and he was ready to get his friends as well, to let's play, let's make a team. We should be good enough, like last, or better than last year. So I saw that he is able to lead, and I felt like he had enough enthusiasm to lead this team. To you have to commit all season as a captain. You all know that it's not like easy. You have to commit like 8 months to do this. And I felt like he can. I asked him, like, okay, are you, what do you think, like, you can do it? He said right away, like, yes, I can do it. So that's how we end up with him, and I felt like very confident that he will be able to do the job. And he's been doing very good, as you see.
Yeah. So I think the great work there to find a best person, to lead. And I think he has given a lot of new energy to the team. And my
Yeah.
best wishes to the Bulls for this game and the beyond this game as well.
Thank you.
By the way, Satya, please change my pick. All right, I had picked fighters to win. I'm changing it to Bulls. After listening to the interview, I have decided to change. I'm picking Bulls to win now. All right, but I want to get to KK, and then I wanted to ask you a question, because you're in a very unique position. The man who led you last year is your opponent next game. Think about it. But meanwhile, I'll let KK ask his question.
I mean, that was my question, right? When
Okay.
when Mahesh left after such an impact last year, personally, he had a great season. He made you win games which you were losing. And what was the environment in the team before Vatsal and Co who got him?
Just after he left or before?
After he left, I mean.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
that he almost decided not to field a team. They were down. You lose a player of that kind of talent, it's very difficult.
It was not just a person, right? If just Mahesh left, I know that he played very well, right? But if like whole bunch of people leave, then you are in dilemma that whether you can even play the season. So I think that might be more hurtful than one person leaving. You can say, like, but definitely he made a lot of impact, and if he and other few people stayed, it would have been really different. But I don't know how. We cannot say anything like whether we will be different or we'll be same, but good things will happen, like, so. And I also feel like we once Sensi left, or since many people left, they also got chances to play DCL, and we were able to give chances to other people who never played DCL, right? We got many people who haven't played. So we both got equal chances, like we are both are in quarterfinals. So I think fair to both parties.
So my next question, it's slightly on a different note. See, normally when a bunch of guys come into a team, right, there will be certain demands that also come with it. Is the captaincy one of such demands, or was it agreed upon after the think tank all sat together and decided? Because we've seen in the past, two teams merge, and the team, a bunch of players who come in will also say, "Hey, I want to be leading this team."
Did we lose him? I don't see him.
It's still there. It's just that video has stopped.
Participants. Yeah, Geeno is in here.
I can't hear him also.
Yeah, we can't hear him.
Okay, I don't.
Okay, we can come back to the questions. Maybe we can do the prediction segments.
Yeah, let's go to the predictions.
So once this
We'll ask
prediction
them.
is popping up, we should not change, right? Seeing others'
We can,
predictions.
you can't change the predictions?
You change already, I got that.
After this, after
seeing
today,
others'
you cannot
predictions-
change.
After today, I mean, today is you guys have.
No,
Today
another
is after
4
the
hours.
show.
Just seeing others' prediction.
After
No, you cannot change it once the other endless predictions come on the screen.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what I'm saying.
Okay.
Might be after the show. In the show, you can change, but after the show, no.
No,
All I know. Hey, hold
No.
on. Let me.
There is a purpose of a secret prediction,
Yeah.
and that needs to stay on like that. Because
Change
if I'm looking at Gababa's prediction and picking something else on the show, then what is the purpose of
What is the point?
secret
Change
prediction?
it.
Okay.
Change it right now, right there. If you want to change any of the game prediction, change
Okay.
it right now.
Before even going in,
Okay.
confirm it.
Yes.
I'm okay. I'm changing my prediction to Bulls.
Okay, done.
Yeah. So
Next.
one change is there.
Okay, so I can
Okay.
go back and change. Okay, anybody else
Now
changing?
you cannot change. I mean, now.
No, I'm not changing. Okay, but Gababai, I'm in the lead. Okay, 194. I'm tied with you. Look
Yeah.
at that. The guy who is sitting 10,000 miles away is beating all these cartoons. Take that.
Cartoons.
Take that.
I fell for it, Vijubai. When you gave me that Glance versus Pokeries, I fell for it. What to say?
Okay.
Let's see the predictions now. I'm not changing anything.
Okay, all right.
So Glad's Red Devils. So as per prediction, everybody goes on Glad's. Gladiators.
So much for KK's friendship with Chanakya Lokam. Chanakya is listening to the show. Take that. That much is that is the value of your friendship. Take it, buddy.
And all three of our community analysts also picked the Glad.
Hey, but they also picked Gluts. Imti is on GLCC, Raghu and Vignesh on Pokeries. Okay, I think this is where the
So
changes
in
have been happening.
ours, KK goes GLCC and remaining all goes to Pokeries.
Okay.
Look at the Pokeries brand power. Huh? Look at the strength.
So we are going in as underdogs. That's what you mean to say.
No, Imti is selecting. Imti is on your board.
Imti has selected GLCC, right? But
What?
that might be
Geeno.
that might be the love for Jagan because he's on the Jagan show. You see.
Geeno, whom you are selecting?
I think I'll difficult maybe Pokeries.
Okay.
How about the previous game, Geeno bhai?
Even though Pokeries stole Neil, he's still picking Pokeries. But he probably also knows how good Neil is. But anyway.
Previous
Hey,
game.
Chanakya in the chat says, you need to pick Red Devils. Vijubai.
Who, me? Nah,
If you are still a true
already,
believer, you need to pick Red Devils.
yeah,
You cannot change pick now. Sorry.
I was a believer up to a certain point,
Okay. Geeno, first game. You want to answer?
I think Glads.
Okay, thank you. So, Detroit Bulls fighters, Geeno, you don't have to answer. I'll say Gababai goes to Bulls, and KK he goes to Bulls.
Oops.
Viju goes to Bulls. Parthiv and me goes to Fighters.
All right. See, close game, 3-2.
Yeah,
At least,
3-2.
at least Geeno can be happy that 3 people are now on the Bulls side.
No, actually, six. Six people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 6 people, is it? Wow. Imti
Yeah.
and the other 2 guys. Wow. The Pokeries guys are all on the Bulls. So Bulls are getting a lot of love. They've made some believers. At least I became a believer after listening to the interview and after listening to the after effects of winning the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. The last game, Stars Indus.
Stars
Oh.
Indus. Okay. Imti. Oh, wow. Raghu and Vignesh are Indus. All right.
And Gababai goes to Indus. Parthiv goes to Indus. KK goes to Stars. And me and Viju goes to Indus.
Oh.
Oh, no. I went to Stars. What are you
When-
talking about?
Wait, sorry. Oh, sorry. Viju is Stars. Sorry.
Thank
It's
you.
my bad.
Because I said this publicly last week. Oh, by the way, now let me remind you the spicy portion of it, right? Stars versus Indus. Let's put the spice on it because I got a call from my
Geeno,
good friend.
1 minute. Geeno, your answer. Quick.
I think Indus.
Okay.
Yes.
No.
Please go.
Stars was so that covered all the games, right? So let
Yes.
me put the spice on the Stars Indus game. I got a call from Sandeep Gopu. Sandeep Gopu is my good friend. All right, so we have once in a while some chats. So Sandeep Gopu called me and said his dream is to play Glatz in a DCL final. Well, I said, couple of times they reached the DCL final, but Glatz could not get past even the quarterfinal. So I said, I'll try our best this time. So he's looking forward to a Glatz Indus matchup in the semi-final. Meanwhile, Arjun Ajbani went for a Mishka game, and Ravi Teja happens to be on the same. What is that? The Mishka team which they play for. They play for the same team. So Ravi Teja, as soon as the game gets over, they lost the game, and he looks at Arjun and says, "I'm going to see you in the semi-finals." All right. Meanwhile, Bangera is also sitting right next to him. Deepak is sitting right next to him. So the thing is, Stars are very confident, or at least Ravi Teja is very confident that they're going to beat up Indus and reach the semi-final. And they are also very confident that Glatz will reach the semi-final. All right. But meanwhile, Gopu is pretty confident that Indus will reach the semi-final. So that's the spice of the whole thing. So you have many of these star players looking forward to the next couple of gigs. All eyes are on DCL for this weekend. Obviously, Teja is very confident that he can get the job done. So I want my Indus friends, especially Pandeti. Pandeti gets fired up. Remember Pandeti bowled to you, KK, in one of those games. He was bowling, breathing fire and brimstone. This was last year.
Yes.
In a Michigan Cup game, right? We want Pandeti to breathe fire and brimstone against Teja. We want Teja to dance a little bit, But meanwhile, I know Teja will be having his own plans to make the Indus guys dance because he's already counting on meeting Glatz in the semi-final. But meanwhile, we know that we have a tough opponent in Red Devils, so it'll be an interesting week. Let me put it that way. But let's put it this way: the pre-quarterfinal, Bulls captured our hearts and our imaginations. And congrats to Vatsal and company. Thank you, Geeno, for showing up on the show. Did any of you guys have any more questions for Geeno?
Yeah, I was about to finish my previous question. So,
please do.
Yeah, normally, when a bunch of guys come in, right, sometimes also comes in the demands along with that, right? So when these folks joined the team, was leadership one of the demands? You can be as honest as possible.
No, nothing. So that I think that was one of the best things. Like, nobody had any. Forget about demands. Like nobody, they didn't demand to even play, right? Like I know like many people who were so down to earth, all these guys who joined us. It was so easy to be on the team, like to be with them. So that was one of the best things. I think that also made us gel together well, even though just in a year, right?
Because see, if I remember it right, Vijuba, you can correct me. When Parthiv Mehta joined Raptors from Strikers, wasn't he leading the team? Vijubai, the question was to you. When Parthiv Mehta joined Raptors from Strikers, wasn't leadership one of the demands?
I don't think Parthiv demanded it. Okay, if Parthiv was here, we could have asked that question point blank.
Yeah,
and knowing Parthiv, he would have given an honest answer. All right, he's not a corrupt guy. Let me put it this way: he's not a corrupt guy. He'll give you an honest answer. This is my truthful this thing. If you present a fair argument to Parthiv will give you an honest, fair answer. Okay, so the DCL is in good hands.
It was still mine. It was still my third year into DCL. So back then, the stories that we heard, the rumors that we heard it was one of the demands. So.
This is my opinion as a competitor. I don't think Parthiv demanded any kind of leadership. All right, saying that I need to be the captain, otherwise I'm not coming and joining Raptors. If you ask me, my understanding was Raptors or the original Raptors, all right, they were spiders. Long time back, they were spiders. Venkat Adappa was probably one of their architects and founders and things like that. He still maintains an active role in it. I do not know if you know Venkat Adappa. He's been out of DCL for quite some time. But Sai, Vishwanath, all these guys are Venkat Adappa diehard fans, you see. So Venkat Adappa came up with this brilliant plan that Raptors and Strikers should join together. And so the understanding was that, hey, Parthiv and who is this? Varaj, you come over. We will give you the leadership, and we all can win a corporate, a cup, a DCL Cup together. They put together a mind-blowing team, one of the best teams ever created. The only problem was somebody forgot to tell Ravi Narala and Pokeris that you need to die in front of Raptors. And Ravi Narala didn't believe it. And Ravi Narala hit Raj Patel for a 6 and finished the game, you see, and stopped the dream right then and there. But as far as I know, Parthiv never demanded this thing. That's not the Parthiv that I know. But if he comes on the show next week, we can ask him that question point blank. Hey, did you demand the leadership? My understanding was Venkat Adappa came up with this grand plan to put up a grand team. But the way to do that was, let me offer and tempt Parthiv with this opportunity to win a DCL Cup and put his name on the DCL Cup, because the captain's name goes on the DCL Cup. That only DCL does one of these things, and that makes it a little personal. That a skipper, it's not just the team name which goes up; the captain's name also goes on the cup. And Parthiv, he's like any one of us, right? I mean, who doesn't want to win a cup? All of us are fighting for a cup. That's human reasoning, human logic. We will all have our desires. KK, you wouldn't be playing for GLCC if you didn't think GLCC has a good chance to win the cup, because you realize you have only a small window. In that small window, you would like to achieve a certain dream. So if Parthiv went from Strikers to Raptors, I think that was the thing which drove him towards that. But Venkat Adappa facilitated that and managed to convince his team, hey, we need to accept Parthiv's leadership and make him the captain. He has a lot of experience, and we'll get a cup in the process. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, that's one strategy which Adappa used very well, but that's okay. I mean, that's kind
my
of...
question was it one of the asks or demands, right? There's nothing in it to trade, right?
I know it's an old thing, but I want to add few things, okay? It wasn't merger with Raptor and Striker. They try to make a team which can win this DCL. Hardly any player played from the Striker and Raptor together. There are a lot of people they've hired. Malik, KRCC, 4 people played. If you guys don't know, Parag, Vihar, Saurabh, Sahesh, it was a merger from different talent from the different team, and they made one team out of that. They named it Raptor. They used the Raptor name because it was already registered probably. Who played from the striker on that team?
There
Other
is
than
no
Parthiv.
registration. No, Parthiv and Vraj.
Yeah, Vraj.
Vraj
Yeah,
Patel.
so that's what I'm saying. Two people from maybe from Raptor, two people maybe from the striker, but all
Gaba,
other 7-8 key players were outside.
That is because nobody else on whose strikers was good enough to get into the superstar team.
But what I'm trying to say, it is not just a merger between Raptor and a striker, because a lot of talent they have hired and who were core part of that play. They're playing 11 or 12. What I don't remember what was the concept that time. The 6-7 people weren't part of that. I actually recall immediately after this discussion. I have to see more, but these 5, 6, 7 people, that name that I gave, they were not part of either striker or Raptor, and they played most of the games. And I think Parthiv was the obvious choice because Parthiv knows a lot of these people from past, and it was they wanted a person who can mingle and create a team out of this many talents, right?
No, Parthiv is a natural leader too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
let's face it, and he's able to talk well, and he's a natural leader. So I see nothing wrong with it. And if somebody wants to play under Parthiv's leadership, there is nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's a pretty good leader.
True.
So anyway, but that's pretty much it. Anything else which we have to cover? I mean, we've covered pretty much everything, I think. I want to thank Geeno James for joining the show. Thank you, Geeno. You made our day. Thank you for covering that game and giving us insights, because especially when you didn't play the game, you are conveying your team's emotions. It certainly is not boastfulness. It's more like this is actually what happened. And it's good for the rest of DCL to hear that. Thank you, KFK, as always, for your frank comments and bringing the spice and masala to the show. And Gaba, as always, you always have our back. And I know today was very difficult for you to show up, and still you showed up. I mean, the mark of a true warrior.
My parents are here, and we had already planned to went to the temple, so that's where
all you have to do is show the show to your parents, and then they'll say, "My friend, my son, you better attend the show every week."
Sure.
See, that's exactly what will happen. They'll be won over, simple as that, and then show them the number of video counts, and then they'll say, "That's it. My son, I never knew my son was so famous."
Sure, I will do that.
So yeah,
Anyway.
Vijay, yeah, thank you for inviting us. I know like Vatsal was not able to join, but first time here, but enjoyed talking with all you guys. Just one more thing, like I want to thank all our families who supported us. All here, like they've been integrated part of the team as well, right? So we were able to play and do good. So hopefully we can win one more game and go to the next one. Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, no, you guys made us believers, and right, it's such a wonderful success story. And believe it or not, Vatsal also came on the show and said many of his family members, there were many other people who told me the same thing. Many of the family members either watch the show live or watch it later on. I understand it's a long show, but sometimes to do justice, you need to cover various aspects. It's not possible to do it in 1 hour. But again, our objective is to cover all the highlights, and many of our achievements are never talked about anywhere else. I think that's what separates DCL from everybody else. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Satya, as always, for all the technical work. Thank you, and good night. All right.
Good night.
Good night.
And good luck to all the teams. All right.